Hey everyone, welcome to Adobe Live here in San Francisco, California.
We're back.
Back again if you missed us. My name is Justin Odisho. I'm here with Chris Grubisa, and Chris is going to be demoing some awesome storyboarding and Firefly concepts for us today. What do you got for us, Chris?
We are going to jump into on how to get, what's the actual title just for me to get it, to secure high-level deals and pitches with Adobe Firefly.
Awesome.
When I say Adobe Firefly, that's photo and video and getting the dream that you always wanted to dream about. Yeah.
Yes, and if you're tuned in on Behance or YouTube, we're definitely reading your chat and comments. So hello everyone, Paco, Cody, and everyone else. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop them in there. But take it away. That sounds good. Securing deals, that's something that we all need to do.
It's basically using the software to get your best life. I guess that's the best way to put that. Yeah, because this is who I am specifically. I'm a father, husband, entrepreneur, video strategist, and the way I navigate my life is with the Adobe tools. I've been doing it for 21 years, and it's crazy from high school to literally scaling up to Hollywood. Canadian myself, it's crazy that this is my life. So I share these because this is the work that we've been creating. My wife and I, co-founders of this company, Acrylics, it's a creative agency working with amazing brands of the world. And this is all photo, video, social campaigns, product-based. You have from cosmetics to food and beverage and all that fun stuff, kind of everything about lifestyle. So I share this because you'll see in just a second that there's some beautiful, reputable names. And then my other company that we lead together as well is Let's Cook Editing Services, strictly focused on video editing. So creators, brands, agencies of all types. We make fun short form, long form from podcasts and everything of that nature. So I share this openly because this is how we secured our dreams and the clients that we work with, and keep continuing connecting them and anchoring them into your life that you want to live.
Also, your website is very nice.
Thanks.
It's much nicer than my website. I like all the.
We'll talk.
No, yours is great. You need to do next video how to make a great website like this.
Adobe, we're here. So I share this because a lot of the magic is. I just want to pull back a little bit because Adobe has given us, as creatives, we have the vision, but Adobe gives us that permission in a way too, but the tools to create this life that you always want to live. And Firefly is a huge aspect of that now. It's a very exciting time for creators and creatives of all types, from film and television to documentary, industry leading, etc., across the board, from audio to all that. So to me, Firefly is a hub that I just think of now to go to for photo, video, and audio as well. And then now it's even expanding into the 3D space, which I don't have too much expertise in, but we'll get into this side of it too. So let's go over Firefly because this is how we get creative clarity and the end result to whoever you want to hook in to work with. So you go to firefly.adobe.com and you can see there's a search. I always say search bar, but there's like a generative bar. I don't know the actual term.
Yeah, I don't know if there is an official name, but
I'd think of it as search because it's obviously
generative bar. Generative search.
So you can basically start typing anything. You can put parrot in a tree, tropics, etc., and it will come to life. One of the ways to do that, you could do text to image. So you just type up here, whatever you wish, and then it will come to existence. Text to video is obviously text to video. So you can type in that same tree, parrot, rainforest, what have you, and it can come to life in the video format as well. We can get into the little nitty gritty of it as well before or afterwards. I show you where I'm going with my demo today. Scene to image is another great one. It's a whole 3D space that I literally have zero experience in. I don't know about you. Do you have?
No, I'm definitely much more green on the Illustrator, that sort of stuff side, which is good because we need those people too.
And you can translate video, image to video as well, translate audio. Do you have anyone in your family that speaks different languages?
Yeah,
Or anyone in
my mom can speak Arabic, and also I don't speak it.
Well, now you can.
And we also speak Neo-Aramaic.
Whoa.
It's a very ancient language. I don't think it's on
I
there.
don't know. Yeah, I was
probably.
gonna say.
But
You stumped
Arabic
me.
is probably on there.
Future updates. My dad speaks a bunch of different languages, and I've never really connected with him on that level.
What
but,
language?
We got Croatian, Italian, a little bit of Slovenian, and then I get English. And I filmed him the other week, and I threw it into Translate, and it completely transformed it too. So you can try it out here. Let's try it out now for that little thing there. But yeah, it can basically transform your video into whatever English speaking. I think there's Portuguese, Spanish, there's a bunch in that whole realm there too. But that's not what I'm covering today.
Oh, look, we got some Arabic in the chat, I think. I can't read that though. Sorry.
That's
but
amazing.
I see
Yeah.
it. And hey, Sean and Alex tuning in too.
Okay, so this is the coolest thing because you can take this, and I always think of the tools that are, they're given in this like tool bench, let's say, but what can you do with these tools? And as a creator, I've been doing this for like my entire life, but as I grow as an adult and perspective and everything, I look back and I'm like, but I always take the tools and I maximize them and I wring out that opportunity with every last drop to make what I want. And that could be a life, that could be the portfolio, the client, the dream client that you're looking for. And I can be an advocate for this too. If you have a dream client, you can get them. 100%, I'm backing you with this. Here's some tools on how to do this. So we're gonna go to Project Concept. This is a low-key, internal, private software platform with Adobe right now. It's Project Concept that I'm working in. This is what I'm sharing with you. You can tell them I sent you maybe. You can keep it on the down low, but it's a little special treat today. This whole workspace is Project Concept.
So can people go to this today?
This is unreleased right now, but I'm just gonna say that and share with what I'm sharing today. This is the whole interface, if you will. So
Cool.
That's what I'm working in today. So I want to get this big client. They're a water company. I don't know. Let's make up a name because this is all like fantasy right now. What should we name this? A water company that looks futuristic and like.
Yeah, the first word that popped in my mind is aqua, but that's probably basic. Aqua something. Aqua future.
Aqua future. Okay, Aqua future. We'll go with Aqua future.
So basic. Anyone in the chat, if you have any recommendations.
Exactly. Yeah, pump it in. So. So this is a brand that I either want to create. Now, pulling back from the video world, okay? If you want to create a brand, if you're in the brand space, if you're into fashion, if you're into product design, marketing, graphic, all of this can come. You can use Firefly to not only build with the video space of what we're experts in, but you can also craft campaigns with this too. So on a zoomed out perspective, these elements were generated in Firefly. With Project Concept, Firefly is built in right here. So it's a very quick search. Just for time's sake, let's say I generated the prompt, a modern black and white clock mounted to a wall in a gym. This is what I generated. So I'm gonna just place this over here into my quote unquote pitch for the project that I'm going after. So today, this is gonna be a Super Bowl commercial, 30 seconds, high inspiration, high energy, big visuals, like big, right?
We got a good one in the chat, the Hydro Win.
Hydro Win, let's do that. All right, Hydro Win. I love it because there's a tie-in. There's a tie-in to winning and athletics and all that stuff. Okay, so I have my colors here. I got the brand colors, I got the athletes, I have the coach. The coach is actually shown in this one.
So what made you choose blue? No, I'm just kidding.
I just,
water.
Water.
I'm just kidding. I like the black.
Space, the ozone. I love blue. Anyway, okay, so my thoughts for anyways, because I get so ADD with this too. I love it because I get excited. This is my concept for a campaign. This is the concept for a brand that I'm creating, right? So I basically threw some stats elements, textures, water, elements like clocks and, speed and forward and driven. And I would present this in a real world scenario to a client saying, this is the next campaign for your Q4 or Q1, Q2, whatever season you're kind of sharing this for. And this is a great like mood board, if you will. And how I typically work is, this is a concept for the campaign, and then we're gonna take these elements and put it into a storyboard, which is over here. So before I go to number 2, storyboard, do you have any questions?
Is this like infinitely scalable, like zoom out and in?
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool.
You can
like you can zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like pretty high quality, huh?
Yes.
Whoa.
It's pretty nuts.
That's cool.
So if you're pitching, I want to say this up front because I'll forget, I'm excited live and everything like that, is you want to be as clear as possible. I think you should be as clear as possible in your life. You should be as clear as possible for the end goal with the client, what you want to be doing, and etc. So when you're jumping into the mix with a client of the caliber that I shared earlier, you want to be as clear as possible. This is going to be the end result of what we're going for. So it allows you to, go from a mock-up to an actual product. The client no longer has to use their creativity in their mind because they're basically hiring you to do the creative work. So you have to make it as believable and as clear as possible.
So you could basically like be on a call with a client, or probably invite them to this document somehow.
Yes.
And like show them like a presentation. That's pretty cool.
My career, I should say, has been from this, or actually even worse. I'll show you coming down in like 5 more minutes. But if we were to date this photo here, it would have been like a concept of like, what are we in 2025 now? Probably 8 years ago, it would have been like, this is what I'm thinking, and then in 2025 days, this is what I'm actually gonna do. Mm-hmm. So you can see the contrast of like, this is a mock-up to, no, this is the actual product of what we're gonna use. So from a very quick thought starter to end result, it's tightened up a lot. Substantially, what's the word? Yeah.
How are you dragging photos into here? Like,
this is all project
you can
concept.
Generate right from here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, someone's asking how to get it, but I guess it's still on wait list.
It's still on wait. I'm just kind of teasing it today, but it's something that I want to. It's blown my excitement out of the water. I'm just like, I'm electric about it too. So, just keep that on the on the headspace. I was gonna say DL, but
someone's making a joke about like crashing on Windows, but actually this seems like a pretty lightweight program. Like I don't see this lagging much, do you?
I have not experienced it, no.
Probably because like it's not video stuff too. Like
right now, what I'm sharing is totally. I'm on a MacBook Air. It's super light. You could do this on the iPad. I'm sure like it's a whole thing. So let me focus up on the concept. So if I'm explaining to a client what we're going to be doing, I want to have the most clarity in what we're going to be executing, right? So elements are now no longer, if you were the client, I said, imagine water dropping from the sky or the ozone. You're trying to think as best of what you are receiving from my end. Mm-hmm. And as a creative, I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of bad qualities about me, and one of them is drawing. You'll see in a minute. Yeah. The other one is a little bit of words. Sometimes I can't describe what I just want to show, right? Yeah. Firefly gives us that immediate, this is what I'm thinking. No, this is exactly what I'm thinking too. So, stats that come up, froze like less than 1% is fresh water and whatnot too. We're starting to cook here, a little like simmer with the client saying, okay, we're gonna jump, into this project. Okay, so then once we get the whole branding over here, we're gonna bring this in to a storyboard. I love, in being in the video space my entire life, the storyboard is the video. For those who don't know, this is what the commercial would actually look like. So we're gonna start at the starting line. There's sound effects in the background, sound elements like beep, beep, beep. You start off the gate. It's a montage sequence of said athlete running and doing and performing and practicing. There's, the big headlights in the stadium. This is basically the commercial laid out in still form.
Like shot by shot. Basically.
Shot by shot.
And previously where people might be like illustrating this by hand, you're saying you're able to like generate it with Firefly?
Exactly, yeah. So going back to one of my bad qualities is I can't draw, but I can generate. And that's something Firefly has given me off the bat already. So if you were just to use photos, this is an amazing tool for expanding and getting clear on what you want to actually be capturing. The other thing too is I have a slew of notes here that I'm going over because this is really exciting for me, is to share, is that if a client doesn't like anything that I, say this frame, I can easily generate it into something else. Like they don't like the left side of the shot, come to the right side, and you can easily flip it with a few clicks and a type. This is no longer going to, I have to go back to the iPad, or it used to be the paper, scan the paper, upload it, put it back in, crop it in, all that whole stuff too. So it's very quick with project concept in mind. Obviously, Firefly's right here. You could do it with inside this software as well. So things are getting so much more efficient and quicker and more clear. Is there anything in the chat that I can pause for now?
Well, no. Someone was just asking about the crashing. We answered that. But I have a question. What's this sample from Canvas option?
This is... You can basically... Okay, so let's jump over to... Let's say we want to tweak this running up the stands shot. We can go to Firefly. You go to Firefly, text to image. And for the interface for Firefly, for those who don't know, you can select your model types. I'm always using, obviously, the latest and greatest. That will give you the best results, in my opinion. You can go landscape, portrait, square, widescreen. So I'm always a widescreen because I'm a video. Now it's the other way where it's. I grew up with 16 by 9, right? But now everything's vertical, so 9 by. Sample is basically it's the same kind of feeling here. When you can click down here, it's a sample from Canvas. You can eyedrop, basically style reference composition, and which is why I'm going over to the...
Oh, that's cool. So it's like sampling from the whole image. Like this is hand drawn.
So you can do a reference image here. This is I've been using. I honestly have not stopped using Firefly since it was given to me. Just to showcase and kind of play around with, and now it's like publicly launched, and this is like the coolest thing. You can upload literally any sample reference. So for a lot of these, the bird here, I don't know if it's cardinal or anyways, a bird.
Might be an owl.
Is,
no, it's a bird, never mind.
Oh yeah, you can go to the owl one too. I use this style to have that pencil kind of sketched up feeling. Again, you're trying to get as clear as possible, but there's a believability in everything that you do with said client. So I just, these are some mock-ups, nothing big. This is the first draft. We can work with it. It's totally cool. And then we can take it to obviously more realistic photos. So in the pencil drawing one, I use the reference image of this bird. Can I zoom in a little bit?
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, like even if you don't upload your own reference, they have some of these built-in reference presets like these. Yeah. I actually would have thought that if you told me that someone drew some of those, like there was one of a clock, I actually thought maybe you're showing like how you used to draw it or something. Yeah. But I assume that is generated. That looks like a believable drawing if someone told you. Maybe it is.
There's a mixture of a lot of things. So there you can see the realism of it. I can actually zoom in here. So it's it's basically how far you want to take it. So you can go from like a simple sketch to a more detailed sketch to the actual image to a little bit here. I threw in a bunch. It's obviously going to be like a a buffet of everything. And you can also, basically if you can't and you think it's faster too to just sketch things up, it's a mixture of everything here too. And that's where my iPad comes in, the tablets come in like clutch because it's there. So you can use a composition as a reference. All of these were grayscale, not all of them, but obviously, pencil drawing and whatnot too. We'll get into the prompts in just a second as well. Style reference, so if you wanted like a neon, I again use this, the black and white kind of sketch type feel. And I didn't do too many effects, but you can do you have the layer, the paper, you have the hyper-realistic. Hyper-realistic was this gentleman here, the coach. So you can basically tweak anything you wish. Yeah, black and white, again, keeping it super simple. And the fact that everything is so like readily available, you can tweak to whatever your desire is. My prompt would be whatever you wish, to be honest, like female athlete entering a gym to prep, let's say the bottom right here. Gymnasium, is it a basketball gym? Is it like a workout gym? Like what kind of gymnastics gym, etc. So you just prompt, and then easily, just for time's sake too, you would prompt it down here as well. Be very detailed on the prompt. I don't know if I should. I'll get into the prompt in just a second too, because I want to go back to the next phase. So this to me is so much more clear on how I used to do things back in like over the decade.
I was gonna ask like how, because you've been pitching clients and whatnot forever. Like, how is this, or what did you used to do, and how do you see it now?
What I used to do was in the first position here, this number one, is you would grab things offline. You could go to Pinterest, you go to Google Images, you could basically grab from any which where, screenshots on your phone to throwing it all into here. One of the things that positioning yourself for what's worked for me in my experience is when you start showing like, oh, this is what your competitor's doing and this is what we want to take on. Let's say your client is Coca-Cola and you show a lot of the Pepsi images in here. The Coca-Cola reps might be like, well, that's what they're doing and we're not them. Mm-hmm. So it can kind of hinder your positioning on like, no, this will work. And then you start getting into this like almost defensive mode.
So you have to be careful, like when you're pulling from online and stuff, it seems like there's more pitfalls to be careful of sometimes.
Exactly. And it can deter the client, and it can also come into like copyright issues. And the coolest thing that Firefly gives me in this little moment, it expands the whole world, is that it's all in one place and I don't have to go anywhere. It's right here or right here, or all of it's right here. And it's literally beginning with a simple prompt. Athlete walking in a gym, race car zooming by, low angle, red car, low sunset, etc. That's something so updated and so unique and so cool, because that expands. It's a multiplication conversation. It's not just an addition. This is the next phase into taking the concepts, is what we would typically do back in the day now, because everything's been leveled up, where we put it onto a still area. And if the client doesn't like this, we're going to start with this shot, we're going to move it over here, and now we're going to begin with this shot. Or stadium lights are going to go on first, and it's going to go psh.
Yeah.
An announcement's going to come on in the background as sound, like for the sound effects, and they're coming up to the T-play. Let's go, we're hitting around the corner, 100-meter dash, like build it up in the sound effects. And then this is what a storyboard would typically look like. But my main theme here is let's get clear. That's clear, but let's go a little bit more clear. So you can now take these images and make them and bring them to life. And I'll show you guys right here with a few little clips here. So let's go here.
Yeah, this is a really cool feature.
We have this still image that we generated, right? So the prompt here would be female athlete walks right frame into left, camera on a steady cam, pans around, dollies around, or moves around. And this is the still image that was generated. We take that still image and we put it into the reference bin here. Let me just show you guys. You drop that photo into the reference bin. I would do this in real time, but I wanted to be preparing. So you would take this image here and drop it into the composition, start prompting it, and that's how you can start bringing this to life. So here, boom.
Whoa.
So
that's crazy.
Just to go from the left to the right and say, oh no, the camera's gonna come around, it's gonna pan, it's gonna tilt, it's gonna do whatever. We now, I don't wanna tease the next part before I forget to say this. We now can show the client what it's actually gonna look like, side by side. So on the left, it's 20, I don't know, I'm trying to think, I'm excited now. 2010 is on the left, 2025 is on the right. You literally can see what shot we're going to be performing on the day.
Forget storyboard, like there's the commercial right there.
Yeah. So we did this with a bunch of shots, and when you lock in a client of this caliber, when you get into, let's say, any of the leading brand names out there, you get into the room and you start saying, hey, this is what it's gonna look like, and then no, this is actually what it's gonna look like. They are immediately like, you went above and beyond, you are trustworthy. Oh, I don't like that. Let's tweak that there. Great. Because as Justin and I know, as video editors in the editing space, what's the main thing about video editing? I'm putting you on the spot.
I already know the answer. What, revisions?
And fixing it in post. Fixing it in post-production. We don't want to do that ever again. Because sometimes when it's not our fault, but it is our problem.
Yeah.
We want to fix that. That's right? It's not our fault, but it is a problem, yeah, that we have to fix as video editors. We want to fix that in pre-production.
Which, like you said, like expectations is a big thing.
Yeah.
And as you said, the more clearly you're able to communicate, and if you're not always the best with words, if you're able to communicate down to the angle and the type of shot, there will be less room for miscommunication and less, fixing it in post moments probably.
Yeah.
They'll never fully go away probably, but
yeah. But Adobe has eliminated a colossal energy, like it's just been, it's super shrunk down into what am I trying to say, of like that window of vagueness has been like completely like cut down. Because you get so clear up front. This is my favorite part right now that I'm using for Firefly. There's so many, I can't even say that. There's so many elements in Firefly that not only, and I don't know if I'm going like too forward on this thought too, but it's like I don't ever want to be like, oh, well, there's a product and that's great, but it could have these bells and whistles. What you can do with that tool that Adobe has given us, it just expands. This is just a storyboard. We generated some funny photos for our family, and we put them into like Disney characters or like even animations and whatnot on a still image from Firefly, and then we animated them into an actual like animation. And this is for birthday parties, barbecues, events coming up of that nature too. So this is totally like career oriented. I would love to do a fun, what does that look like elsewhere? If you go to my socials there, you'll see there's a video that I did for a friend's barbecue, and you can get very, very creative with Adobe Firefly. Photo, video, the whole thing, audio. And then this is my other favorite part. Remember when we went to this concept here? Here's the storyboard 10 years ago, 5 years ago. We can actually go and put that into Frame.io. So if you need a platform to actually showcase these clips together, you can use Frame.io by scrubbing through. This little demo here shows exactly like how you could further present it in a sequence. And to be honest, you can go even further. You can bring all of these generated clips from Firefly Video and bring them into Premiere Pro, which is absolutely crazy because your video editing experience can be brought, instead of the back end of things, right up to the front end. So you can start tweaking. You can basically, we have been doing this for quite some time. You pre-visualize, you pre-edit the video before even going to camera. And that to a business is an incredible return on investment because they know exactly what they're getting and there's no surprises. There's a list of things too. When you have this clarity, the filming days, the production days, they go like that. They're super fun. They're literally a party to be a part of. And everybody knows exactly what we're achieving and what we're going to get because of Firefly up front.
And I like what you said too about you're showing professional, like use case, corporate and stuff.
Yeah.
But even for the non, like super professional, this is great for, if you have like a birthday party and you want to make a fun little template, or if you have like, I've even seen like generating like children's stories to like, put your kids to bed with like some fake story, like that involves them, as a cartoon character. So like, you can use it for the personal use is just as cool, I think, as the professional use.
I obviously one of my companies is Let's Cook editing services. So what we did here is we generated chicken sandwich, chicken burger. We put the reference image in Firefly from Firefly Photo into video and said rotate around. There's me super stoked. You key out the background. I'm like skimming through this, but you key out the background. Everything's in high def, and then you can make a funny little ad like I did here. And I said, "Come on through, guys, my friends. Friday we're having a spicy chicken barbecue."
Oh, that's awesome.
And there's an invite, and I text that. It literally took 30 seconds, a minute to generate here, generate there. And it's like, this is what's on the menu if you guys want to come over on Friday and have a barbecue. Yeah.
There's definitely like that one type of person that is going to get so excited by this. Those people that like have their own coffee shop in their apartment and stuff.
Huge.
With their own menu and like branding and everything.
I think that the coolest part is like I have a very good flow of entrepreneurship like in me. And I like if you had a coffee shop, you could generate coffee images that pour slowly. You could put this on a digital board for a menu and show your customer base what exactly you're getting. Like it sells, visuals sell, right? It's people want to see and experience. Would you want to come to a barbecue if this was?
I thought honestly that this was a real restaurant for a second, and you were like, I did this ad for one of these chicken restaurants, but
Let's Cook opening soon.
Then you're like, this was just for my friend. I was like, oh,
just for kicks. Okay, so let's get back to the main thing. How's our time? We're good for time? Okay, we're good.
Yeah, you're good.
So you can put this into Frame.io. My number one thing with everything Adobe has been trust across all of the years and across every platform as well. So I trust Frame.io. You know what? The other beautiful thing here is with Frame.io is that you can actually have clients drop notes, time code base. Oh, I don't like the foot shot at this angle or whatnot too. They can leave feedback. Industry known, leading standard, all the like down the list. We all know that Frame.io is super full of integrity there for clarity. Okay. Am I on the?
So we've got storyboard. We've got
motion.
Then I'm
so excited.
Yeah.
This part.
I mean, so then. Yeah, is there basically you're pitching it to the client? Well, yeah, you showed us. Then you have from this to animated.
Yep. Remember what I said? I can't draw, but I can type and I can describe. So if you can't do any of this, I'm going to go this nice. I'm going to tease everybody here. I'm going to go over. Okay. You can achieve this with every shot. Every shot that I've shown here, you can start to get creative. And this is what I was mentioning earlier, where you can get you maximizing everything out of each software, every opportunity, every moment. I can't draw. This is my drawing.
The client is not taking this one.
This isn't when you walk up to a big brand, let's say Hollywood or New York, you can't just walk into, hey guys, come, I'm gonna make a movie.
Actually, I don't think it's that bad, honestly.
I'll get
but
out of here.
I could outdo you on the worstness here. It's not bad.
It's not
It
bad.
looks like one of those like really popular comics that you see online.
Thank you. I love you, and I
Although
think,
I'm not sure what's happening there. With
yeah.
The,
Would you sign off on a project if I was like, hey, this is what we're doing for Super Bowl?
honestly, not bad, but I'm
Okay.
not sure.
So background, you get the gist of it. We all know that, right? Like cameras pushing in, and all that fun stuff. This is what I generated in Firefly Photo. I'll get out of the way because I'm going here. So
So you took this as a reference image and
Yes.
said like, make this better.
Exactly, yeah. And I started to describe it, and I'll get into the prompts just after this because I know I had that where it's there. So open up the iPad, can doodle on my phone, airdrop it to basically Firefly, and this is what you can get. It started to level up. I feel there's a difference
shading.
there.
And then, so I'm already like thinking, in one step,
yeah.
like next step. So basically you're able to doodle as best as you can. Then you can tell Firefly like, make this better. And then you can take this and say like, make it into a video. So now you've gone, or ultra realistic.
Let's not leave photo just yet. Instead of sketching,
Okay, yeah, even one step further.
you can go, no, this is actually what it's going to be like. This is a, dark-haired, blonde, etc. Like you can get very, very detail-oriented. You can also make this color. I'm only sticking to black and white to keep it super simple. So this is just the photo realm, from
That's so
here.
cool.
I'll put the Firefly logos in there so it's easy to see. Because where am I here?
Yeah, I'm not in the way.
No, I'm still
Other way.
at that.
Other way. There you go.
There you go.
Jacob,
Thank you. We got
We
magic.
got professionals on the side here.
Okay, so photo and photo are here, and then I'll show you guys the QuickTime. So this one's that's not it either. Here, oh, where's my?
So I guess
Here to go. This one.
so we're gonna see the evolution here.
So this is.
I would take this one. I'm sold.
I would take this one too. Then I'm gonna put up a prompt. Okay, so let me pause. Let me
What
go
was
back
it?
there.
Sitting, stretching, or something?
Since I have the reference image from my hilarious drawing to this actual image, my prompt doesn't have to be super detail oriented. You don't have to be an expert in this space right now, like for this specific moment.
Yeah, you already drew.
Exactly.
As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yes, and there's things that it's almost, to me now, come and kind of think of it on the spot, it's like I would almost sketch something, put it into the reference image, because it saves a lot, like, no, I'm actually thinking of it like this way, or this way, or, well, she's sitting down looking directly squared off to the camera, and so here, I'll get this toolbar out of the way. These are the various, how's the background? Is it blurred? Is it whatnot too? So Firefly not only gives you thought leadership, gives you thought starters, thought positioning. No matter where you are in the creative process, you always have to be able to I can pivot, What do I do now? The client doesn't really like this angle. What can I do to all that stuff? So Firefly can give you those options very, very quickly. So these are the options that it gave me. I was like, cool, I'm just gonna leave it as is.
And you could just keep saying no more variations.
Yeah.
And more like this, more like that. Yeah.
With these ones too, you can right click. This is a presentation mode, but on the top right, it says generate similar. So
Right,
if I do this, still me again, sorry.
One against a black studio or one in a gym, maybe you could try to get
exactly
more like that. It will probably do more in a gym setting.
Yeah. Background shows just on a business level. It's I got to rent out a yoga studio, a gym. What does that look like? I only have enough budget as a client for one room. We can film it this way. You can film it this way. Okay, cool. One location, one day, 60 seconds, we know what's up. Okay, here we go. Then you can throw this photo into Firefly Video, and it starts to come alive.
Wow. This is getting too realistic for me. Like on Facebook, there's those people that post my grandpa just turned 103, and it's obviously a fake thing, and then the comments will be full of just old people who can't tell saying wow, congratulations. And then everyone's like, can't you tell this is fake?
The fake.
Maybe now you can, but I probably in like 2 or 3 years, even the most tech savvy person will be having trouble. Different combo there.
My 2 things I always think this is in the back of my headspace always. What I love about the Adobe ecosystem is it's not intimidating to use. I can stand on that right now. It's very user welcoming. This was generated very, very quickly. Let's say 5 minutes to what you see on the screen here. From a thought to a thought starter, thought leadership to an actual position of being an expert, locking in, getting clear those deals. It's completely, it can enhance, and maybe I'm just maybe my own case study, but I really believe it, that it can change your entire life. And what the coolest part is that if the client really does like an image here, a visual, Adobe, the other thing is with Adobe, if I forgot it because I'm excited with this, one place to do all this. It's very welcoming. And Adobe does not train off users' content. So if I had these images, feel free to take this one, but joking aside, if I were to upload this sketch, Adobe doesn't train off that. All of this as well with Adobe is commercially safe to use. So if a client actually would love to use this image, the photo and the video side, we can run it right now. So if we can't execute this visual right here on the right, you can just in like real life with the real actor or whatnot too, we can you can use this clip that's shown. Now this one is with an athlete that's sitting down, very easy. But think about like over a rainforest. Think about skyscrapers in Manhattan and whatnot too.
Like helicopter shots.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
One of the things I'll have to say to share this is when I'm on set, I have an iPad and I show the crew, I show the client, oh, this is what's coming up after lunch. This is what we're actually achieving here. And I just click play and I show them. The amount of communication, the amount of trust I have from the clients, and the amount of clarity I give back to the crew that's why I said earlier, it's a party when you're on filming location, because you're literally like, we're getting the shot, it's super fun, keep it in line and let's create, and what we're here for, to build connection and sell at the end of the day with this, with the commercial.
Yeah, and I imagine too, like maybe you can even do a mix. You do a lot of the shots, but sometimes there might be like 1 second of B-roll somewhere that you can get away with using something like probably wouldn't even be able to catch it, like a helicopter shot or some 1 second flash, where why rent a helicopter and make the B-roll and whatnot.
You can
or otherwise. Yeah.
Stock footage was an option earlier. Right. There, get someone who's local. I just think it's pretty crazy. Like it's what you can achieve today with the tools we've been given. So let's not forget that this is a hydro. What was the name of it?
So we said aquafuture. Someone said hydrowind.
You search for that while I scan.
Someone wrote like a really positive comment about aquafuture is actually connected to healthcare and fine art and Bruce Lee. I don't know how they're connecting it, but
I love part of what today is. It's a celebration for me. I could never. Going back to, I want to say Neo is the software here. Yeah, I still got it. Okay, Neo. I didn't know anything about graphic design. I didn't know anything about 3D and everything. How much time? Okay, we're skim through this now. We're gonna get fast. I didn't know anything about 3D, and I didn't know anything about graphic design, photo world, and I'm in the video space. I have a feeling of all these worlds, but my life is literally career is merging all into one now. So here's the water bottle. Here's the water bottle prompted with photo, Firefly photo. Okay, so the prompt was as simple as this photo referenced, And over here, oh, I'm jumping along for everybody. 1 second here, 1 second, images. I would put this water bottle photo right here into the reference image, because it's the reference, right? And I did it here, so zoom in a little bit. And yep, this is exactly perfect.
I love how much you can zoom.
Preparation is the key. So I took this water bottle shot from Firefly Photo, and I put it into the reference, and I said, well, I gotta have a splash of water behind it. This is what it started to generate. So this one I started with water bottle by itself, no water behind it, and then I started to put water behind it. Also generated some background, which I was like, well, is this a city futuristic water bottle, or is this one in the Amazon or nature or whatever too? So Firefly Photo gives me this, thought starters, thought leaders, enhancers, etc. Then I generated this one, and I was like,
Whoa.
You know what? I want to start with Firefly Video. I want to bring this to life, right? I want to start with this water bottle, and I want to end with the splash. So Firefly Video, I'm so like, let me close all these Firefly tabs.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So when you get into Firefly Video now, you can put in your first frame down here, and you put your end frame down here, and then you prompt it. Water bottle slowly falling from camera, looking down, splashing, and basically ending on this final shot here. So this is the prompt that I used. I said, water bottle by itself, starting here, ending here. Water bottle by itself, floating in space. Water comes down, comes behind and splashes behind the water bottle, evenly lit in a studio setting, white background. And so
And then you have the result.
Not today, I don't have, I'm joking. So from
I'm
this,
on the edge of my seat.
From this to this to this, using those two images,
Right, yeah.
This is the end result.
Ooh. Whoa, that's cool.
There
I
is.
could totally see that in like an IG ad or a TV ad.
Then I could call Justin, or if you want to absolutely stick around for the next stream right after this one, Justin, you could probably throw some text over this as a little tease there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be going into some stuff like this and some Gen Extend features in Premiere. And
what do you say to that?
I mean, I could play around with that. Like, yeah, starting image. You don't even need the end image, but you can have the end image, sort of like keyframes, and now you've created a cool animation.
That's pretty slick.
That is pretty cool.
So if actually, you know what? We're video people. Let's keep this loop in here. If I walked into, just think about this. Maybe I'm wrong. If I walked into like an executive studio and went, hey, on the left, very far left screen that we all see behind us, and it was like, no, water bottle, Super Bowl commercial, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be awesome. Or if I actually walked in with the end result on the right, which
Right.
job would you get? It's basically dress for the job that you want, and Firefly gives us that ability. And this could be for any client, which is amazing. You have local coffee shops, you have big brands, you have, it's an amazing tool. It's an incredible time. And I just think from a really bad drawing that I could not do years, decades, months ago, it is literally here is our end goal.
Yeah, and I like what you said there with local businesses. We're all video pros, and probably everyone in the chat is really tuned in to what's new and what's happening in video. So maybe to them, they're like, yeah, duh. But like the local, coffee shop or restaurant, this guy who's focused on, his restaurant, you go in there, if you show him that drawing that you did on the left, he's probably gonna laugh at you, and you're gonna be like, no, trust me, it's gonna look good.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna laugh at you, but you go in there and you show him this really cool spec ad of his sandwich with like a burst of like sauce coming out. He's probably gonna either want to hire you or figure out like, let's do it, or like on the spot, or really take you more serious, because that looked pretty professional, even if you're just using bits and pieces. And then probably, like you said, you can take them and bring them into Premiere and put them all together more classically. So yeah,
I have a couple different avenues in my life. You absolutely nailed it, and I use it in my professional like video space career, the strategy. I'm a creator myself, and video editing, and as a dad, that's the other one. This is a small little snippet. This is part of like my social, but I'm just quickly showing it because of how much you can generate. So fun little stuff for like this is screen time with my kids, and it's healthy screen time. You do this together. My son is over my shoulder. He's like, I want to make a funny donut video. I put little After Effects, fire coming out of his go-kart. Here's my parent side of things. Look, we generate hockey clips to whales in the water, like donuts. These are all genuine reactions too. He's just excited. He's part of it too. It's the new finger painting. He's like, I want to make colors explode and this and that. Sometimes it doesn't work as well. There's a little bit of mistakes, but this post was actually 2024, and a lot of the kind of the massaging here and there is really lessened over the years. There's a perfect example. Here's all the like stuff you can create. So you can do like claymation to animation and whatnot too. Car commercial stuff, B-roll. Did I put I took it away.
Probably by the time the stream comes out, it's even going to be even better. Probably by the time people watch it tomorrow. It's like every day there's some.
They have updated quite a bit, yeah.
And it's really blowing my mind.
So let me see here for a prompt. I never got to the prompts. The number one thing with my theme today is be very clear. So the prompt, we got 4 of them. It's be very specific. So describe the style, the mood, details very, very clearly. You're not just going to put city. Let's do futuristic city. Okay, well, is that sunshine or is that clouds? Oh, futuristic city at golden hour. And then here, I'll do this so you don't have to, we'll do this one here. We'll loop it for you guys as I chat. Sure. Be specific. So futuristic city at sunset, glowing magic hour, neon lights that twinkle in the background, in the distance. The second one is context. Mention use case or the platform. So this is for social media. The third one is action verbs, include perspective. So water bottle falling from camera down with a white backdrop. Again, very, very clear. Incorporate key words. So lighting, in this one I use studio settings. So we all, like the platform understands that, oh, it's a nicely lit studio, white backdrop. Okay, I get it. It's not outside in the street or elsewhere. Keywords, and then allow flexibility. So allow flexibility. So that's leave room for creative flow. This takes a little bit of massaging to get to, but not a lot. Over the course of the year, I know Adobe has given me beta access, and I've been working with this well over a year and a half. What trajectory, I guess, what path they're going on into is absolutely, it's like improvement. So it has substantially grown in the last year to something that we see today on this screen behind us.
Yeah, well, that was awesome, Chris. Thanks for sharing all that. Lots of great tips in there, practical, professional, personal. So yeah, any final message? Where can people find you and connect more?
You can find me at Chris Grubisa social, and at firefly.adobe.com is everything that we shared today. And Project Concept is coming soon. Be on the lookout. And then if you follow my socials, you'll see a little bit of rumblings in there too to learn more.
Awesome. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll be coming back with you shortly. We're switching seats, and I'll be presenting some cool generative extend and some Firefly things as well that I've been playing with. So I'll see you guys shortly.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we'll switch. Yeah.
Let's do run up. How's it going, everybody? We're back.
Hey,
Justin,
everyone.
Chris, what are you cooking up today?
Sure. Oh, hey, in case everyone missed us, we're back. We just switched seats. But I'm going to be showing you guys some cool use cases that I've been thinking of for the new Generative Extend feature, which is in Premiere Pro Beta. And I'm also going to be then building out some like title projects using some cool Firefly elements to bring our titles to life. So we got two little mini projects that we're going to try to combine there.
And if you're coming through the chat, please let us know where you're watching from. I will be looking at the screen specifically. So off to the races, Justin. I'll be here if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, and if anyone has any questions or comments while we're working, Chris is going to be monitoring the chat so we can answer this for you. So just so everyone knows, firstly of all, we are going to be in Adobe Premiere Beta. That's right now where the Generative Extend feature is in beta. It's like fresh off the press, this feature, and they're still updating it as we speak, but we have access to it. There is some small limitations just before we begin, like it needs to be 1080p for now, not 4K and all, but I'm sure they're going to be updating that pretty constantly. But
Aruba.
yeah, so
I'm watching the chat. We got Carson City, Nevada, Aruba.
that's awesome.
That's so cool.
So yeah, one thing that we're going to be building in the stream, and just a quick little demo I was working on, is some cool title screens with like some cool atmospheric elements in them. That a lot of this was made using Firefly, and I'm also going to be mixing in some Generative Extend. So why don't we actually just start with a fresh project, and we're gonna get there. But I just started a new project in Adobe Premiere Beta, file, new project, and I dragged in a bunch of different sample clips for me to work with, and all in our project media bin on the left. So the beta should look pretty familiar to anyone who uses Premiere. Yeah, and as you said, I always like to stretch my window. Like, I don't know if any other editors are out there or OCD, but yeah, I got to have these line up.
Yeah. Yes, you're.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah, just so anyone knows, yeah, you can always go to Window Workspace.
Reset.
You
That's
can
my
you can
life.
save your own or like have different presets for you. But
vertical video has changed my physical setup in my studio now.
oh,
Like
now everything's, the tripods are on their sides.
and the screens, I kept it to like on a laptop like we are right now. It's always to the right, but then my physical space now is like I have a full separate monitor. It's a whole thing.
Awesome. So yeah, so I'm just gonna create a new sequence. We're still gonna be working in horizontal. For everyone out there that's like, I hate vertical video.
Embrace it.
There is this like thing where people have this aversion to it, which I totally get anytime anything changes. Like I used to get comments like, video is not meant to be vertical, it's meant to be, why, like whatever. But if you really think about it, like why is video widescreen anyway? Like it's, yeah, deep question
I heard because of our eyes are the human eyes are left and right. I don't know.
Yeah,
how to say that, but
if anyone in the comment knows, or someone could probably someone could probably Google it. Like, what's the resolution that we see in? It's probably not 1080p by 1920.
My chat is a little cut off in the bottom, so it will keep flowing it because I got LA, we got Kansas watching. But there's another one popped up, but I can't see it.
Yeah, so I want to just show, first of all,
thank you,
the generative. I want to first of all show, what is Generative Extend. Yeah. So, and a lot of things that I'm going to be doing today are going to be involving like time lapses as well. But we have this cool stock video of a flower blooming. I believe this is a time lapse. And this was one of my first ideas that came to mind when I saw Generative Extend got released at Max. I believe they announced it.
That was crazy.
Yeah, one of my first things was, this will be really cool for time lapses, because I'm sure you've shot time lapse.
Oh yeah.
Time lapses are the one thing where it's like actually a few seconds of video really does make a lot of difference, or really does help. So for example, I have a video here where I was taking a time lapse. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so for example, I have a Canon G7X. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. It was like a really popular vlogging camera. That's the camera right there. I have it on a little Joby tripod. And it had the one cool thing about that point and shoot is it has a time-lapse feature. So as you let the camera go, if you see it's blinking, and each time it blinks, it's taking a photo of the sunset here. So I'm recording a video of the video. But if you think about it, I mean, photo, like every 5 seconds, and you got to let it sit there for a while, and it's only going to spit out like, a 5-second video.
Yeah, I was going to say 10.
Right. So to demo, basically, first of all, the feature, my main point is that so the generative extend feature, I believe for now only extends a few seconds of the video at the end, a little bit more for audio. But my main point was a few seconds when it comes to a time lapse is actually maybe several dozens of minutes or 30 minutes of recording time that it's helping.
Yeah.
So let's say, the time lapse ended here, but I just need a little bit more of the clip. In the toolbar, your traditional toolbar, you should see this new generative extend tool. So it's like a little
magic.
Yeah, I haven't looked too closely what it is. It's like a little sparkly timeline thing. I think maybe that's like the Firefly sparkle.
Yeah, keep going. I want to
Sure.
be like the excitement. This was fairly recent in the last couple 6 months when I first used it. What was your reaction when you first did this at home, on your own?
Honestly, when I saw it at Max, when they announced at Max, first of all, that cool new object selection.
Yeah.
But then they were like, that's not coming yet, but generative extend's coming first. I was a little bit disappointed because I thought the object selection was so cool that I just wanted that and I didn't care about nothing else. So I kind of didn't think too much about generative extend. But then when I was actually using it and preparing for the stream, I started to realize that this is a pretty big change and a pretty cool tool because
it's incredible. Yeah.
And I'll get there, but essentially, as video editors, cuts are the foundation of video editing, and maybe you could even say crossfades are one of the foundational transitions.
Yeah.
And this is going to have a big impact on the way, the flexibility you have when cutting and fading, which I'll show now. But to get to no, it's okay. To get to basically what this is, so for anyone tuning in, generative extend, it's in this toolbar. I am in Premiere Pro beta for now, but it'll probably be getting rolled out in the future. It's a really simple tool to use. You just click the tool, you go on your timeline at the end of your clip, and you just click and you drag. So I believe, let me zoom out a little bit because, I believe,
Zoom.
Yeah.
Wow, that one is.
I think it's 5 seconds, I want to say. 5.
There's
maybe 2 seconds.
The cool new gradient, so it's not the pending yellow, it's not the offline red, it's like a...
Yeah, we got a new gradient, which is cool. But as you see, it's generating extension. And also you'll see once it actually generates, and we're doing this all live, so it's actually pretty fast. It's already 50% done.
It's pretty...
But it adds a few seconds there. You get more for audio, I believe. But, and once it's done, it will say AI generated with a tag from the starting point, just so you know when you're cutting. But once it's done, we're going to see. But one of my first use cases for this was if we ever got 2 clips, let's say we have 2 clips on our timeline. Let's take this clip that I'm working with. And if we have another clip, for example, if you ever, I'll give people a quick, cool little pro tip here. If you ever see these, it's probably hard to see on the stream, but this little triangle at the end of the clip, this little white triangle, it's probably really hard to see if you're not zoomed in, but that means you're at the end of the clip and there's nothing left to stretch out. They might be changing the UI a little bit, but as you can see, it's at the end of the clip there. That one's getting generative extended, so that's why it doesn't show that. But if you ever try to add a transition, so right click, apply default transition, it'll say insufficient media. Now, this is not an error. It's just letting you know we're going to crossfade these two clips, but because you're at the ends of both of the clips, in the middle of it, we don't have like the media to the frames basically. So it's just going to basically do a freeze frame and transition it that way. So if you see what it used to look like, let me make it a really long dissolve so people can really tell. If you could tell, the flower time lapse just sort of pauses in time. I don't know if you can notice that. You can notice that, right? The flower just sort of pauses in time because there's not the frames there. And you still get a usable transition. You know, a lot of people think that's an error message, but it's not. It's just letting you know. I suggested one time to Adobe, like, maybe just take it out because people get scared when they see a pop-up box. People like think something's wrong, but it's just letting you know. But my first cool idea was now with Generative Extend, we can make those frames out of nothing. I also suggested that, you know, one day maybe this will just be like an auto checkbox feature option. But let me show you guys so our result probably has been done for a while.
Oh yeah.
So as you guys can see, it says AI generated. It has this little tag here, just on the portion that's the frames that are AI generated. So if we give this a play from what we were just seeing to now, I mean, it's pretty convincing to me. It just continues the animation in a bit. It's never gonna be as dramatic as like the beginning unfoldings of the flower, but we get some more frames to use. And it's not just like in the past when I was animating, let's say slideshows, you would just do like simple scale ins and scale outs to bring some animation. It's animating with a direction in sort of like in 3D space too. So now if I have this same problem, we'll say, where I want to make a transition between these two clips, like a long crossfade, but I don't want that frozen look, I can now overlap the new AI frames with our typical cross dissolve, and now I get our Generative Extend powered fade transition, which, yeah, like I said, at first I was so interested in seeing that object removal in Premiere and stuff, that this didn't like catch my eye. But when you think about it, this is like sort of the bread and butter of what video editors do, is like cut, fade, little frames here, little frames there, and I'm able to, it might not be the most like fireworks feature at first, but this is pretty cool. I'm able to create those frames out of nothing. And so for those of you, that hadn't seen this feature, that's a really good, solid example of what Generative Extend is. But then I started to think of some other cool features that I could do with this as well. So another really cool one is that not only can you do video, you can also Generative Extend audio. A few like disclaimers. It doesn't necessarily work for like spoken word yet, and I think certain bits of music. But there is also the remix tool in Premiere if you're doing like music. That's cool. But it's perfect for like ambient noise or room tone and things like that, where previously you might be needing to record room tone extra or like cutting and pasting and like, as video editors, we don't want to be audio engineers too, right? So
please, no.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? It doesn't also loop the audio. It like builds a whole new.
Right.
It just takes samples.
So if I show this clip, it's a train, arriving at a station. I actually took this when I was in Japan. I think probably somewhere in Tokyo or something.
Headphones.
Let's see if I can hear it.
Don't break them this time, Chris.
Yeah. So you just have like the general train coming to a stop.
Boo.
And like, the general like chatter of a subway type of, or a station, people chattering. And a really cool effect that I've taught before, or as a video editor should know, and as video editors you've probably seen, is something called a J cut or an L cut. So what that is where the audio or the video cuts out or cuts in before the clip ends. So let me just show you.
J cut, that's your new DJ remix name.
Right, actually,
J cut, everybody.
It was named after me, but not the L cut.
L.
The L cut was not named after me. So, in fact, we're going to be doing an L cut, to be more specific. So, that one wasn't named after me, sadly. But
Timothy in Virginia, I see you.
Yeah, so typically, if you're wanting to do an L cut, previously you would have to actually cut out part of the clip, so that way you could still have the audio extending.
Yeah.
And if I play this is essentially what an L cut is you know, clip cuts out, but you still hear the audio. I'm sure you've seen this. Like a lot of movies will end this way, like cut to credits, but you still hear like footsteps or something, or like cut to like the next day. And I can even emphasize this by adding like, I don't know, like Finn or
Finn,
like
yeah.
the end. I don't know.
I love that text.
Yeah, I know. This is cool font. I'm gonna be using it for.
Sounds
for
like
later.
The end. Duh.
Not with a
Emphasis
huge.
on the.
Yeah. Make sure you highlight all the letters. Yeah, and
The end.
I'm going to be showing how to use these text tools in a bit. But yeah, this is an L cut, and the reason it's called an L cut is because if you sort of squint and take a look at what this looks like, it's almost like a really thick L, and that's why a J cut would be like a J. But yeah, just new features aside, this is a cool tool to have in your arsenal as a video editor. Is this sort of cut? And I'm sure you've seen it, so now you see how simple it is to construct. But if I play this back, let's say this is the end of our trailer or movie or documentary, and
Your timeline's so nice and clean.
boom.
I bet.
But you still hear like some of the ambience or ambiance. I never know how to pronounce it. But
Whatever you want.
Let's say the shame is I didn't want to cut before the train fully stopped. My directorial choice, I wanted to actually be able to wait till we got to a full standstill like this and then do the cut. But the problem is now I'm running out of audio, so I would have to get creative with it, like loop the audio somehow or put it from somewhere else. But now with Generative Extend, well, not only could I do the video, but in this case, I could just do the audio. And yeah, I believe you get like 5 seconds or more than for video with audio, and it's.
I believe it's 10 off the thinking of it, but I don't.
Yeah,
it's a long. I remember audio being a little bit longer than video. And then Brooke mentioned might make the transition smoother. Let us know what you mean by that. A little bit more.
Yeah.
Describe it just a little bit more for us.
I think they're saying like it would help make the transition smoother.
Oh,
like
flower.
for the flower.
Yeah, right.
Definitely, it would make it smoother. Speaking of TV shows, there's like this really famous. There's this really famous terrible transition that was done in The Sopranos, I think.
Oh, so good though.
Everyone can look it up. Like they did like a really like strange freeze frame on one of the characters' faces as they were walking away, and they like held the freeze frame for really long and then did like a really strange wipe transition. I feel like if they had Generative Extend, they could have got what they wanted maybe. But
take that,
that up,
remix it, and then you can show us what.
So yeah, this actually has been finished. Like this finished really quickly. Audio seems like it's faster than video naturally, and probably any hard numbers that we're giving you, like 5 or 10 seconds. These are probably all going to improve and change like as things are rolled out. So don't mind the details too much. But
behind the scenes, they've been like cooking. Yeah, the advancements behind the scenes has been pretty. We're in such a good spot right now.
Yeah, so now I've extended the audio, so I'm able to use these last frames of when the train fully comes to a halt and doors open. and then I still get additional audio. So if we take a listen, everyone will be quiet. And this is the AI generated audio. And this, I didn't pre-test this or anything. It's just what it's going to come up with. So. So yeah, pretty, like, you get smooth, continuous noise. So now I can essentially create the same J cut or L cut. Actually, why not have this cool little title?
New York City, baby.
I got this like cool hand-drawn title I did for a different video.
Brooke, also, you don't want to end it abruptly. I love that. Yeah.
Right.
It's, yeah, you guys both were synced.
Even though this is not New York City, but like.
That's next stop.
Yeah.
Tokyo's first. NYC.
You have your title and you still have your audio. So that was another really cool use case. Another thing I pitched in the emails was I think it would be cool to be able to expand leftward in the future, like to be able to for the J cut purposes to expand leftward on the video.
Can you not?
I don't think you can do it yet, but I'm sure that they've thought of that. Or maybe there's some creative workarounds.
There might have been, but
I think there's possibilities.
I think there was a moment where there was that.
I'm sure that they're probably working on it or like thinking about it. Because this, keep in mind, this is beta. This is like
Brooke is with
just
us.
What we got. Yes, thank
you,
Brooke.
Yeah, she's on our
same wavelength. So that was two really interesting ones. But another really cool use case that I thought of for generative extend that I've seen is, let's say something happened in your shot that, it ruined the continuity of your shot, and you wanted to like get some more frames that didn't go that way, alternate universe frames. So in this case, although it's actually pretty cool what happens, people walking in. Let's say I was actually just trying to record this like rainy street, and I didn't want these people walking in front of the camera, and it ruined the shot kind of.
Oh, amazing. I know where you're going. No way. I didn't even think of this.
Yeah, well, let's see how it works. I'm going to do it live here. It might give us great results, or maybe.
So if you cut it here.
Yeah, I'm just going to cut it. Actually, I'm going to.
And then now that's the clip.
I'm actually going to cut it. I'm using the arrow keys for everyone at home, just left and right arrow key to go frame by frame. I'm going to cut it like exactly when the shadowy silhouette comes in. I'm going to press C on the keyboard to access my cut tool. And I'm just going to hold Shift and click.
Get it out of there.
And then I'll press V to access my move tool, and I'll just delete. So yeah, hopefully, let's say I just wanted to be able to finish this car going across the screen. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I didn't want those people coming in. So I'll grab my generative extend tool, and this clip has audio too, but not necessary this time. And I'll just click, and this clip is not 1080p. See, you do have to have 1080p clips for now. So actually,
export it.
Yeah, you know what I'll do?
Quick in and out.
No, I have a different video with the same idea.
Of course, you got so much.
Yeah, so actually that's good that we saw that, because in beta right now, you are limited. So if you're getting error messages like that, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just gotta check the Adobe page. There's some specific frame rates and whatnot.
The other thing is there was a yellow box that popped up. That's what you were addressing before, that you said don't.
No, I actually missed what that said, because it didn't seem to. It didn't seem to do anything. But the other idea I had was basically, like, let's say for coffee pouring. I wonder what. Oh yeah, this is a strange file size. But for coffee pouring, this coffee pouring video, which is 1920 to 1080, I had the cool idea to have like a continuous pour happening. So
how big is the cup?
Yeah, rather than like the pour ending at this point, let's say I wanted to make a cool like social video where we do an infinite coffee GIF or GIF loop. I say GIF. Do people out there say GIF?
Let us know in the comments section of the chat.
But I can cut the video before the coffee pour gets dwindling down.
Okay.
And I can generative extend that clip, and it'll continue to give me coffee pour so that maybe I can have, basically the use case we're demonstrating here is like alternate reality extend frames.
So you don't have to, I've only used Gen Extend with a full clip. Let's say it's a 10-second clip that I took of whatever, a boat in a lake. You can cut it in half and you can extend just the half, like from the halfway point.
Yeah, you can basically get like, alternate reality.
We're learning
frames.
together because I had no idea. So your walking in Peopleshaw was a great concept. This one as well.
Yeah, I want people to try that one at home. I don't have the 1920 version of this clip here.
That's a cute mug, Cody. It is.
It's because it's a bear. That's probably why Cody Bear likes it. But it is. So yeah, so while we're waiting for that, another use case that I thought for this was, while we're on the concept of time lapses, and time lapses being kind of tedious to get and capture, why not use generative extend, I thought, so that we can make it like we sat there patiently.
25-hour day, not 4.
Exactly.
Give it another.
Why not make it like we sat there patiently on this rooftop for an extra hour instead of going to lunch?
And clients will never know.
And so we're gonna, this is a time lapse I took. Yeah, you sat there. Let's say, you had to use the bathroom, so you had to cut it short. We can use even generative extend to make it so that our time lapses are even further. So the other clip is finished now. Also notice I'm able to be extending things. It's not like you have to sit there one at a time like in After Effects when you're freezing rotoscoping. You can do multiple extensions and be working on other parts of your project.
That's super cool. Nothing's slow and laggy.
So,
also, because we're back in the mug, what's your favorite drink at your editing setup?
Coffee for me, for sure.
What's your mix? Is it just like cream, double, half?
I'm going
Canadian
coffee, sugar, and a little bit of cream.
How many of those a day? Like 3, 7,
No,
2, 1?
one or two, Otherwise, my stomach will start to hurt. But how about you?
I just iced coffee in the morning, 1 per day. But I keep the mugs away from all the computers because that's not great.
Iced in the summer for sure.
Did it go? Yeah, did it work?
So my concept here was, rather than the universe where the coffee stopped pouring, we're trying to create a cool like social.
Guzzle,
I'm gonna say
guzzle.
GIF. I say GIF. We're trying to create a cool social animation where the coffee just keeps pouring. So as you can see, it does work here. So this was at this part of the clip, the coffee dwindled and the guy moved, and in this version of the clip, this is the real frames. This is the real frames, and then these are generated frames.
Oh, I wonder what
so
you could. So
you can just keep you can keep extending it, and the nice part is this was shot sort of tripod style. So the only thing moving is that stream, and that's another useful tip. Is sometimes if there's too much crazy camera movement, it might get hard for the AI. But in this case, we get this cool continual coffee pour, and you can build probably on top of this, like in Premiere or After Effects, and
so you get
cool
a little bit of
there.
This is like the best part about probably the Adobe world of like breaking new tools and whatnot too. You could technically export that coffee clip and then extend that.
I do want to say,
and then extend that.
Yeah.
And
I feel like for now that time limit is probably like some sort of like based on like cloud like memory constrictions that I feel like if you just keep somehow nesting it or exporting
How
it
big is this mug?
Although maybe there's some metadata that tries to stop you. But
the video must have a special size. This tool has been around for a long time. Huh.
Yeah, the video must have a special specific size for now. Yeah, it's not brand new today, but it's been around for a while. But it is a relatively newer feature, and if for those of you that haven't played around with it or aren't always in the beta, I think these use cases should really arm you with the right knowledge and tools going forward. So here's this time lapse clip, and as I said, sometimes you can't sit around and wait for the clouds all day.
Oh my God, let's see.
Then I'm gonna press play now, and these are the generated frames. So,
wow.
Yeah, it gives you a nice continuity. It even adds like that sunshine like that happens at some parts. It notices that the sun is flickering, and it even adds like maybe a bit too bright. I might adjust that or try it again, but it continues with the clouds. Pretty cool. So who doesn't need a few more seconds, sometimes a few more frames, especially for difficult to capture clips like a time lapse? Or who doesn't need alternate universe frames sometimes? I should trademark that. Who doesn't need some alternate universe frames sometimes?
J cut.
Yeah, it's now that I think about it, it is kind of like this simple tool. I don't want to overhype it, but
you should. Look, you're generating video. I also think, I was thinking while you're sharing all this, is there's no prompts. Like the system knows what it does. I've never run into, and I stand by this for now, I've never run into a problem where you just extend what you're looking for and it's just like, bam. Like there's like no tweaking.
Right.
You know, like that's crazy.
And the
thumbs
other...
up? Yeah. Thumbs up.
Yeah, like I was saying, like one of the superpowers everyone always wants is like to be able to control time and like change your realities. And this is kind of like being able to do it for a few seconds, which I'm sure is gonna get better in the future. But yeah, the other thing too is I actually want to go into Firefly now in this second half of the stream, but I'll show the team. I created some Firefly videos already, so that we don't have to wait and watch. But one thing I did, and this is to continue on the time-lapse theme. You know, let's say it is difficult to sometimes make a time-lapse, but I thought, why don't we make a time-lapse style shot in Adobe Firefly? So this one I prompted like time-lapse of like seasons changing or something like that. And we have... This is what I got. I got time-lapse of things kind of going from wintry more to like spring, fall.
This is Michigan right now.
Yeah, and this is Firefly video. This is like not a real video. And a final use case I thought to really stretch things, like you're saying, really like try to hack things.
Yeah.
Why don't I generative extend the Firefly generated video? And you can do that as well and get, you know, because Firefly video at the moment also gives you, I think, 5-second clips.
Limited, yeah.
So if you really also needed a little bit more out of that,
so
don't tell Adobe I told you guys how to do this. They probably don't want you doing this, but I'm giving you the secrets.
Which is why you should do it.
No, I'm sure. But this is a cool...
Be responsible. So you could basically, I'm thinking of even the stream that we just did together, was you could sketch a photo, enhance that photo in Firefly Photo to Firefly Video with Gen Extend.
Yeah, this was kind of like my last use case to really get crazy with it. But
so you can literally sketch to end result.
Yeah, and so I have some other cool things too as we transition into the second half. So in the next half of this segment, I'm going to show you guys how I incorporated some of these things, like these generated time lapses, to create some cool title screens like this. And I'm also going to show you guys kind of like one thing Chris touched on is the image to video, making our life even easier as professional time-lapse capturers, let's say, as our example. But as this generates, I'm going to actually head over to Firefly on the web. So let's minimize
Firefly.adobe.com.
You got that memorized. So
yeah,
I've got Firefly opened here, and this is part of your Creative Cloud plan, and there's some different plans and options you can check into. But as Chris was saying, we have the text to image features, we have the text to video, which is in beta right now, and all these other tools in here. But one really cool newer beta feature, someone in the comments said seconds matter. Yes, sometimes 2 seconds, change your life.
Especially in the short form space, you need the attention grabbing.
Right. So I'm in the
Yeah.
image to video right now, and as you were showing, on the left-hand side we have all of our, general settings, whether widescreen or shot size, camera angle, and this, like you said, you can even pick the style of shot, like zooming in, zooming out, moving left or moving right. And in here you can add a frame and do a prompt. So, for example, I added a frame of, I'll show you guys here. In my project, there's a, also, by the way, if anyone wants to work along, I'm actually working with a lot of clips from, I have a free stock photo pack and a free stock video pack that you can download on my website, which is just justinodisho.com, my name. So if you ever want to tinker around with these, I have this free stock photo pack you can download and free stock video pack. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I have this picture here of a clock tower. Let's find it. Oh, also, you're from Canada. This was in Toronto here.
Oh yeah, Spadina.
Yeah.
Media intelligence.
Media intelligence would help me
with
here.
the search panel
Yeah.
is a insane seconds matter.
Exactly, because
But
I
we're
could
here. There you go.
I could
Oh.
just type in like clock tower.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is the picture I was looking for. So I took this picture. This is at a university in
Photo
Michigan.
or video?
This is a picture, actually. So this is just a photo. And I thought, this is maybe a busy campus, people walking around. You might not be able to sit there and get a time lapse with an unobstructed view. So when I saw this new feature and when I was already thinking about time lapse and all, I thought, why don't we try a text, image to video time lapse, and then you could even generatively extend that. But jumping back, if we want to take a look at the final result of our, this is our Firefly generated time lapse. This is text to video, and this is the AI generated clip starting now. So we get a few more seconds of that AI generated time lapse continuing. Pretty cool. But yeah, jumping back here, I thought, why not try a text to video? So I dragged this photo in to our Firefly model, and so that people don't have to wait. It doesn't take that long, but just so people don't have to wait, I will show you guys the final result that I already prepared, which is, let's find it here. Oh, Firefly videos. I put them in a folder for myself. So we got this really cool, and my prompt, you can even see the file saves as the prompt name. So I put, since it already had the image, I just put Firefly, I just put time-lapse sunset of the clock tower. I think I didn't really go much further than that. And if we, so the picture is on the left. This is our reference image on the left. And if I press play here, this is just Firefly to video. I think I put like transitioning into winter. That's why you saw snow. And it did a few like interesting choices. Like it added like car motion, like time lapse speed, which I think looked kind of cool. But if we let me make this bigger for people.
That's so cool.
I'll press I and O to make an in and out point, and I'll just press play.
Brooke is asking for your website.
Sure. It's just justinodisho.com. I can't post a link right now, but all the links will be in the show notes to all of our socials.
Smart.
So,
I was like, I got you, but Justin's got
yeah.
it.
So if I press play here, this is Firefly generated time lapse of me putting like seasons changing, clock tower, whatnot. It does some interesting choices, but actually it goes to a snowy. If you notice, it goes to like a snowy. It goes to a snowy scene at the end, which I think is pretty cool because, yeah, we can capture time lapses of like just the clouds going for an hour, but we can't sit there for the seasons changing. So, and this is Firefly putting snow on the ground, making snow fall. Yeah, this was my first try, so I might, try a different thing, but I was trying to get creative with it and push what it could do. And I think that's pretty cool for if you're making a storytelling or documentary style video. I also, in one prompt, I put like birds flying. I was just trying to test the thing. So this is the same thing, but I added some different things like birds flying. I didn't love the birds that much, but I didn't tell it to turn to winter. So if you see in this case, it didn't.
Went to bats.
It didn't add snow on the ground.
It's very Gotham City-like now.
Yeah. So,
Whoa.
but the really cool part is, like you're saying, sometimes then you don't even need to start with video. You can start with an image, then animate it, then gen extend it, and like basically you're able to make a lot more, as you said, squeezing the juice out of a lot less. And you don't always have to, not everything has to be AI generated frames, but it just helps to round out the odds and ends, or at least it could really help to round out odds and ends. So yeah, so let's jump in really quick. I want to show you guys how to build a cool little title screen, and we're going to use some Firefly elements like this. So I did spring here, but let's maybe do summer or something. So
spring break.
Yeah,
that's why you're perfect.
Or maybe I should just do spring.
So,
yeah, let's just do spring. So so the first thing I'll do is just create a new sequence, and I'll grab my type tool and I'll just click in Premiere, and I mean, you can type out whatever you want. This could be cool for a city like NYC, like I said earlier, or whatever you want. And we're going to put a video inside the text. So
J-cut.
J-cut. I'll do spring
we'll do
again.
spring.
Yeah, I'll do spring again. No.
Fine.
So keeping it.
No, you got it. Spring.
How do you say spring in Croatian? Do you know the seasons?
Got to go to Firefly Translate for that one for me.
Yeah.
Spring. I probably do know it. I'm on the spot.
That's all right. I was thinking of Spanish. I actually don't know. I know like January is enero, I think, but that's all. Okay. So just to show you guys how I'm working this text magic, this is the font I'm using. It's right here, and there's tons of fonts, and there's Adobe fonts, but all the text is now handled inside of this properties panel, which if you don't see it, you can just go to Window, Properties, and it's a cool, convenient place. You can move stuff around, and the way I'm centering it is if I just scroll down this Align and Transform section, I can just center horizontally and center vertically, and we get this cool, bold, centered text. Yeah, so I can. Yeah, so I want to really fill up the screen, because let's say I do want to take. Oh, also another really cool example. I'm jumping all over the place like you.
I love it.
But this was a photo. I took a photo of
Grand Central. Yeah.
And I put it into Firefly, and I
time-lapsed
it. Animated it and told it to make a time lapse of people bustling through the station. Actually, you can see the file name is called Time Lapse with Motion Trail of People Bustling Through Station. And
when you generate a clip like that, the prompt goes to the file name.
I guess now,
it always ties it in. I love that.
I mean, yeah, there's going to be some hiccups and stuff.
That's crazy, man.
The thing is, this was a photo. And if I'm going to jump to Firefly really quick.
B-roll, like voiceover with that. That's so cool.
That, I actually used some of these motions. So I told it to zoom out, and I used some of these like motion setting controls to get that. But we're actually going to generate something live on the spot here in a moment.
We have 10 minutes to the T at this point.
So I think we'll actually be able to get to generate something live and give you guys a demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got spring. Let's use this time lapse that I generated, which was just a time lapse of like seasons changing. And I've got all my video tracks here. So in order to create a video inside of the text, there's a few different ways you can do it. But like, for example, if you just want the quick and dirty approach, you can just set this to multiply. Oh, that's not working, actually. So there's no quick and dirty approach right now. You actually should, you should actually do the principled approach, which I was just going to say anyway, which is go to the effects menu, search for one called Track Matte Key, and you're going to add a Track Matte Key. I always get the order mixed up here, so I believe you add it onto the video clip, and then you put the text on top, and then on the video clip, in the effect controls panel, under the Track Matte Key effect that we just added, you select the track that the video is on. So in this case, it's on V3. So I'll choose video 3. And you get this video inside text effect. And you want to choose matte alpha there. Or you could reverse it to get the opposite, but if you wanted to add other things. So we have this cool text inside video, and I can even move it around a little bit. And this is a little finicky too, because if you're moving the video, everything's going to move together. But if you're moving the text, it's going to move the text. So I kind of liked it at like the horizon line of the grass for some reason. I thought it looked cool. And then I can move everything back up here. So yeah, so this is how to get this cool text in video effect. But I thought if I wanted to spice it up, it's kind of hard to do too much in Premiere. Sometimes you'd have to, oh, spring is primavera. I knew that. Thank you. I knew it, I couldn't recall it.
He's got you.
What if he's like, I'm just kidding, it wasn't primavera. And I'm like, yep, I knew that. So yeah, from here, because we did it with track matte key, we can actually add anything to the background. So for example, on video track 1, I could put a whole different video in the back, and we could have like one video on top of the other. But my idea was to spice this up using atmospheric, like cool animations that I made using Firefly. So for example, this was one I made, which I thought came out pretty cool. And this was, I told Firefly, I want atmospheric element. I probably don't even have to say I want to the Firefly.
You ever like, you ever please and thank you?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do that. I'm like, oh,
it probably gives you better results if you say please. But I said glowing butterflies against the transparent or black background, and it made me this cool like neon animation thing.
Whoa.
And I'm gonna do it live because I want to give the people a live demo here. And if we need, we can always fall back. So, okay, so we're on the Firefly homepage. We're gonna go text to video, and yeah, there's some different plans here for Firefly credits and whatnot. But I'm going to just do, let's see, I'm going to say atmospheric elements of, spring flowers blooming in a minimal illustration style against a black background. I don't know, maybe that doesn't make any sense to the AI or not, but let's see what it comes up with. Black background, and I'm saying against the black background so that I can put them on a blending mode. So I'm gonna click generate. Hopefully this works as we finish. Normally this doesn't take too long, so we're gonna come check back on it in a little, and we'll see what it comes out with, but we'll continue building our
it's like the modern day cooking show. And
yeah.
we'll be right back. Well,
it's actually,
while that's cooking.
Yeah, so hopefully that finishes before we have to cut to break, but we got about a good 6 minutes here. So the next thing...
What's next?
Yeah, the next thing I did was add a little colorful background. So I'm gonna highlight my project media panel, and I'm just gonna go to File, New Color Matte, and I'll press OK, and here you can pick a color. So I went with like a greenish grass color, and you can name it whatever you want, but then I can just drag this as the background. And then I added a little vignette to this to kind of make the text pop out. So in the properties panel, again, not the properties panel, sorry, in the Lumetri color panel, I just dropped down the vignette section, and I added a little dark vignette. I feathered it out a lot. Maybe adjust the midpoint, get it to my liking. It's just a quick trick to take that simple green background and make it, make the text pop out a little bit. This way we have this cool green on green look. And then, this is a little boring as is, so I thought, how can we add some animation or spice to this? You could always animate the text in some ways. Like, I was gonna do a summer one on the stream and add like a wave warp effect onto the text to get like a summer heat wave. I guess spring doesn't make sense, but just to show people, you can add a wave warp effect in the effect controls and increase the width a lot and make like a simple little wiggle effect. I was, you know, like you ever look in a hot summer day and like things are wavy.
Everything's like, yeah. Everything's blending together.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that for spring. But you can come up with some kind of animation for the text. But my idea was atmospheric elements. So this was one I made for winter. It went a little too crazy with like the Disney swoop thing. Yeah, I originally did the butterfly, which looked like this. And all I did, butterflies are a spring thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all I did was go to the blending mode, so in the effect controls of this Firefly atmospheric effect thing. And I set it to different blending modes like screen, and I lowered the opacity. And maybe you can put them behind the text so they're not interfering with the text. Oh, but then you'll have to rearrange. You'll have to rearrange the track mat, but.
Oh no, we got 3 on the. We'll go back to the.
Right.
Can you go back to the Firefly?
Yeah,
generator?
But just to show you, this was one example. But let's see if Firefly finished. Yeah, so Firefly did finish our spring flower blooming. I said minimalist illustration style. Okay, pretty cool actually. I think I can work with this.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna download that, and it'll download right to wherever your downloads go to. And in the same way, I'm just going to drag this in to Premiere from my downloads folder. Super simple. So I really did like this neon butterfly thing, but let's try a different one. That's the cool thing. Like I didn't have to sit and animate that in After Effects forever, and then just wasted a whole 2 days of work because the client actually didn't want butterflies; they wanted birds. So
and you were doing that while you were.
Right, this probably finished like pretty quickly because
that's so cool.
It's probably been done. But since I set it on a black background, like I was saying, I can set it to things like screen or lighten, and let's see how this looks with the text. I mean, pretty cool.
No way, yeah.
And you know what? I'm
opening
actually
sequence, like.
Yeah, I can actually. I'll just go ahead to show people how simple it is. I do want to put the text on top, so. I will just move things around a little bit, and I'll just put on here, I'll just make sure I say video track 5 instead. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so.
Your prompt was so
okay, well, I'd have to.
Easy, like.
Yeah, I'd have to finesse with that a little bit, but you can always do a mask too, like, and mask out some sections, and. This is a quick way. I'll feather that a bit and invert it. And let's see what we got. So, also the opacity. I can lower the opacity a bit. And I could probably change the color with Lumetri color, but...
I mean,
that's pretty cool to me. Like, yeah, maybe it's not exactly how I would do it if I sat there and did it perfectly, but you get the idea. We were able to bring a title to life just from boring black and white to something that looks like someone made it in After Effects maybe and spent a whole bunch of time animating a bunch of stuff. And you can do this for, I'm just putting spring, but, I don't know, New York City or, I don't know, anything. So, yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
That's what I got for everyone. Hope you guys got some cool things from this with use cases for Generative Extend and mixing in some Firefly capability and sparked some cool ideas for you.
Creating a title animated sequence in minutes.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you around.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Hey, Adobe Live family.
Hi.
Welcome back. I feel like we're taking over the next
know.
2 hours.
We are. You're here with us today for the next 2 hours. Join us. Pull up a chair.
Grab a snack.
Grab a water, but not too close.
Yeah, we literally are really testing our lives over here with these open glasses, y'all. For those of you who don't know who we are, my name is Brittany Megan. I'm the CEO and head socialista of Socials and Stilettos, and this is Fabiola. Behind Fabiolita Draws.
Yes.
I was like, I am not messing this up.
I didn't ask you to do it, but I appreciate it.
I wanted to, girl. It's your stage name, right?
It is. Yeah.
And Fabiola is an illustrator and content creator, and today you're going to be walking us through some fun behind-the-scenes content creation using Premiere Pro and some new features, right?
Exactly. So I use Premiere Pro to edit like all of my content, and I really love it because I can just like really build it out and flesh it out. And I feel like sometimes I like to hunker down on my desktop and just like get into every single thing. And today I'm going to be showing you how you can use Adobe Firefly's new features to kind of bring some pizzazz to your videos.
I love that word. Pizzazz.
We need to say it more. Into your videos so that you can just like give it your own personality, bring some of those elements. You can see a little preview here that I have going on using some of the, what's that one called? Text effects. There you go. There's a lot of Adobe Firefly features. We're going to go through them. Before I get started, just a little bit about me. Here's my work. I've done some of the Instagram vote stickers. I've done content for QuickBooks and Diva Curl and all sorts of stuff. So that's just a little credibility, okay? I make videos and I'm an illustrator and I've done Adobe Live a lot.
She knows what she's doing.
I know what I'm doing, so you should pay attention. All right, so from there, let's go back over to our project and let me show you kind of like the base. The base of this video is that it's an about me video, something that you would have like almost like a YouTube trailer, but more so like an introduction to just yourself. You could probably put this on Instagram if you want to do like, if you wanted to cut it for vertical, you could then put it on your Instagram. You can put it on your TikTok, just like a reintroduction. I feel like so many people
need to know who you are.
And like every few months, maybe like every 6 months, probably be a good idea to just be like, this is me.
It's so true. I honestly feel like, with us and our clients, we try to do like an introductory post like once every 4 to 6 weeks. I know that sounds like a lot, but if you're growing at a rapid pace, and I mean like you've had so much online success that, as you're continuing to build your brand, there's people that are coming in that have never seen your work, never, heard your story. So being able to reshare things like this is definitely a good idea. I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I feel like, it's probably about time that you put one together or make one again. And I feel like it's a really good post to pin to your profile and just have it there so people can always reference it. So here's kind of like the most, this is like my rough edit. This is just like a roll essentially. Put these on. Okay. There we go.
I'm so excited to
Can
watch
this. Can I do that? Okay. My name is Fabiola Lara, and I'm a Chilean-American illustrator, designer, content creator based here in Philadelphia. When I went to college, I didn't think being an artist was actually an option, like at all. I went to school for advertising, and I ended up working in social media marketing to start off my career. After a bit of that, I decided to completely pivot and become an illustrator. It took a lot of hustle, and I was kind of doing some illustration work while I was working, full-time. And eventually I just decided to go for it and became a full-time independent artist. Throughout my career, I've been lucky enough to work with brands like Adobe, the Golden Globes, the LA Times, and even Instagram, to name a few. I also just recently launched a brand new project. I have mini print vending machines placed all throughout Philadelphia. This is keeping me really busy. I have to create new designs all the time, and it's been fun, but also chaos. I love documenting my creative career and creating content for Instagram or YouTube. I love just sharing my journey with others and just giving them an inside look at what it's like to be a modern day artist. So if you want to see all the ups and downs of what it's like being a full-time artist, go ahead and hit follow. That's like my A-roll, and I would say like if I was gonna post that over on Instagram, I would definitely cut it to probably like 30 seconds. But you know, this is horizontal. It's a whole other world here. 1 minute is pretty short.
It's so true.
All right, so the first thing I want to do is like right in this edit, it was like so basic. There was no personality. We didn't do much of anything other than maybe like move it in and move it out a little bit, just like kind of the basics. So one thing I want to do, and here I want to show you kind of like what I'm talking about. Of course, I pre-cooked it for you. So I just want to show you like where we're headed. I created this like really cool intro animation.
That is
just
so
like
cool.
my name, bringing some personality, using the text effect feature. So let's go on over to Adobe Firefly and let's go over to the text effect. Where did it go?
And while you're looking for this, I wanted to take a second to say hi in the chat. We have Cody, Paco. Hi, Paco. We were just talking about you. And we have a comment as well. The sticker, I can't see that far. Matchiness? Sticker matchiness? Are so is that?
What?
I can't read that. Can you read that? It's so small over here.
No. Oh, the
Can-
sticker
can we-
machines. The sticker
oh,
machines.
thank you. The sticker machine. Is there a way to make that a little bit bigger for us? Okay, thank you. So we're doing text effects inside of Adobe Express.
Yes. This is where they live now. And so I just wanted to write like my name, Fabiola Lara. And it already has some like options here. So that's really like a really good jumping off point if you're not sure what to do. I would go ahead and let's make this a little bit smaller.
So
Bring it
pink
out.
sparkly, I'm already sold. Just letting you
Yeah,
know.
I feel like this is a real collab, you know?
This is how you know the girlies are taking over the streams.
Exactly. Okay, so this is like a starting point, and there's a ton of options here that you can play with and it'll load, but you can also hit create your own. Ooh, that's creepy. Create your own, and it lets you write your own.
Do you have like a signature, I want to say like style that you would go for when you're generating text effects? Like,
Yeah, I feel like I want something that's like fun and bubbly, and that's kind of what I go for as opposed to like reptilian. But that's just my personal preference. You can go ahead and do whatever you
do
like.
whatever fits your
Yeah,
brand.
I really want some texture because I feel like that brings kind of like a 3D effect to it all.
Right.
So for the fuzzy text, I just put like fuzzy pink plush. I think I just put that fuzzy pink plush because I don't need to put text. Okay.
Text effects is so cool though. Like I've had so much fun creating stuff. Like around Christmas time, we did like a sugar cookie printed like look on text for some graphics, and it was so much fun.
It's really cool. It's always like generating something you didn't quite think of.
Right, and you're like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's okay. So
Add to
here-
cart.
Here we go. So then I hit effects and I hit view all, and I'm able to go back. Wait, where did it go? I feel like things are always moving on me. Okay, here we go. I was looking for these results. So generate more. So sometimes like the first one isn't necessarily perfect, and you can just pick some other ones. So I kind of like this one or this one. Let's see. I want it to feel like just really lush. That
love
one's
that.
kind of cool, but I don't want the, whatever those outlines are. So maybe I should put like,
Solid.
yeah, solid. I think I put like teddy bear one time, or like, what's it called? Stuffed animal.
Yes.
And that kind of worked.
Even like I think of like a fur rug, how like the fur just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's very.
I want it, there we go, with the stuffed animal. The
love-
stuffed animal prompt is key here. So I did that, and then since we're in Express, you can also go ahead and add some cool text layouts. So if you hit this text layout button under the text edit, I hit arch. I can never say arch. I was about to say arc, and I was like, that's wrong. Okay, so arch, wow, look at me, my name.
I love it. And you're kind of centered to it.
My name and the lights. Okay, so I'm gonna make it pretty big, and then because I wanna bring this into video, what I'm gonna do is change the background color to something like that has extreme contrast. So that, as many of you guys know, is like a green screen background. So I happen to have like a lime green in my brand colors, but you can pick like any green that's kind of in this world.
And then we're set, because what we're going to do is we're going to download it as a, well, yeah, we're just going to download it as a JPEG.
This is like such a random question for you, but have you ever tried to animate it using the animate features inside of Adobe Express? Like,
that's what I just missed doing, because I was about to say, if you just want the element by itself, you can do it transparent and download the PNG. So that's super easy.
Right.
But if you want to animate in Express, just because it's like one click, you need the green screen background, and then you can hit your element and go over to animations. And then that's where I did like the spin. Wait, not the spin, the loop.
I love that.
This. So that's how I got this effect without having to do any keyframing, which is always, it's nice if you can skip a step.
I also think it's cool because, like, as somebody, like, who really isn't, like, an animator, like, isn't, you know what I mean? Like, I use these programs on a very, like, light level compared to a lot of people. Being able to kind of, like, create things that are easy and, like, in one step.
Yeah.
Anybody who's watching, let us know in the chat. Are you somebody who, is more, I guess, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you with video editing? That's a really great question.
Yeah, that'll really help us gauge how in-depth I go here. So what I did, just real quick, I have a square. I don't really need all of that space. It was just kind of standard, but I put the element kind of below the square, and I have it spinning, and I pulled out my timeline so that it does like a full revolution. And so now if I play this through from the beginning, it looks like this.
Wow.
Which is nice, because now you don't even have to mask it.
Right.
Now you can just plop this on your video. So I'm going to go ahead and download this as an MP4 and hit download. And from there, we'll bring it into Premiere, and I'll show you how you can now have that asset forever. You can use it for all of your videos for infinity, or you could use it to create even like those chapters in your video. Like if we're talking about YouTube and you want to put like, Tuesday, Wednesday, that kind of thing, like you could totally do that. So we're going to go into here. I'm going to rename it Fab Fuzzy. And now I'm going to bring it. I try to stay organized. So I have a Firefly folder in here. Bring it over here. And now we're going to bring it into Premiere Pro. So I'm going to make sure I have my projects. There's a lot of different clips in here. So I'm going to drag that right into my Firefly bin. And now I have it in here. And we're just going to bring it down to our sequence. So I'm going to go back to this quick edit instead of the final edit, because that's what we're working with here. And I'm going to drag it in. And I know that it does like a full revolution, because that's what we animated it like in Adobe Express. So I don't really need to like clip it unless I'm trying to speed it up or something. Then we can work on that. So let me just play it and make sure it loaded in right. I'm going to mute myself for a second. All right. It looks correct.
I love this.
Love that. Now from there, we're just going to go over to Effects, hit Key. You just type in Key, and you're going to get all these different keys. So you want to hit Color Key and drag it on top of that clip. And now click the clip twice, and you should go over to your effect controls. If any of these panels, you can't find them because you're going wild editing, just go ahead and go to Windows and select the panel that you need. So effect controls is where you'll find like the color key effect. So from here, you just want to click the eyedropper, select your background. So that's why it's like, as long as you get a good shade of green, you'll be fine. Doesn't need to be like a particular shade of green. And then we're just gonna increase the tolerance, and that should make the background disappear. Where is it? Oh, it disappeared too much. There we go. Okay. I couldn't see it because remember we have it underneath. It was off screen. I was like, where did it go? Okay, so it's right here. So that's pretty good.
I love that tip so much. I always thought like a green screen had to be a specific like hex code. So can you believe I've like Googled my whole life like hex code for green screen?
I mean, it can't hurt. It can't hurt.
But that's such a great tip.
But it's good to just like, if you already have it, get it close, you're gonna be fine.
Right.
And certain blues sometimes work well if you have something green that you need to use. And sometimes black, it really just depends. It's up to you, but green is kind of the go-to. All right, so I keyed out the green, and so we just have my name in here. If I, let me change this workspace real quick over to the editing workspace. There we go. If I zoom in over here, we can just double check how this green looks. So there's a little bit of green around here. So if we go into here, we can go to edge thin. And if we go mine plus, it'll like kind of go in a little. So you don't want it too much because then it's gonna seem like there's something missing, but like that kind of looks better.
Wow.
And if we were doing something where we wanted like feathering, we could do that. But I feel like for this one, it's pretty crisp. So I don't think we need to, but I'll just show you what it looks like. So it'll look like that. So I don't think but you can also like negative feather, I think. No, you can't. That was just in my head. I did it. I thought I did that once. And so you can, that could also be a look if I wanted, but I don't. All right, so from there, let me make sure this is back in here. And now we have it animating in. We didn't have to touch a keyframe, so I saved you that step. And you can use this infinity times, forever, for the rest of your life. One thing I want to do is have it like maybe stop right here for a little bit. So I'm going to cut right there. I'm going to move this over. And I'm going to right-click this clip and do insert frame hold segment. Where did it go? There we go. Wait. Here. Insert frame hold segment. Oh, it's because you have to be at the end of the part that you want it. Sorry, guys. Now it'll do it. Boom. And so it inserted this hold, essentially. It's kind of for a long time, so I'm just going to reel that back in, ripple delete, get all my stuff back where I want it, because I don't need it that far out. So I'm just going to, I feel like right now is when I'm like really trying to line everything up. Okay, perfect. And now we should have that frame hold built in too. So let's see. Oh.
I feel like I'm learning so much from you in this stream already.
Great. I just left this gap here. That's why that. All right. Let's make sure. So if we go from here, it'll just play, pause, and then continue. So you can extend that or make it shorter or make it longer. That's like completely up to you how you want to do it. But the other thing I want to show you real quick is like all these effects are going to be really handy when you're adding them to your video, but you might not want them just like on top of everything. Like I don't really want it going over my face, I want to be the star of the show.
Right.
So,
as you should be, as you
we
are.
all should be,
Yes.
like take center stage. And so what I'm gonna do is just select the video, the part of the video where I want to kind of keyframe myself out of. So it's these two. I'm gonna right click and select replace with After Effects composition. Let me just make sure it's that little part. Yes, okay, so right click, replace with After Effects composition, and that's gonna open After Effects, but do not panic. Do not panic, this is gonna be easy, breezy, beautiful, and look really, really good. So it's gonna make you save it again, so I'm gonna hit intro, no background, that's my official title. And here is our composition. Yours might not look like this, but I'll show you what you need to do. Let me just open this up. So from here, just hit the roto brush right here. Double click your composition. There we go, double click in here. And now we're over to this window, so don't look at that window. That's as easy as I can put it. And from here, you're just gonna wanna like draw an outline around what you're trying to keep, which in this case, I'm trying to remove the background. Wait, I forgot one key thing, you guys, hold on. moving too fast here. I need to make, you always want to make a duplicate before you go into this step.
Okay.
Don't save, because we want one that does have the background in it. Oh no, there we go. Sometimes you move too fast, get too excited. Okay.
It's keeping us humble.
Yeah, so I want this, I want to retain the background. I'm not trying to
Right.
remove all of the background, so I'm just gonna move these layers up so that I have space. And from here, I'm just gonna select them and click Option and move those up, and now I have duplicates. So those are layered twice, and now we're gonna take the top ones, right click, and do the replace with After Effects composition. So it was the right thing. I just wanted to remember that you need to have that background, otherwise
It'll just be black.
it'll just
in
be
the
black.
background.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I'm gonna do V2 just so that it doesn't conflict with anything. Again, rotoscope brush, double click, we're back.
Okay.
We're back. Okay, so now you have rotoscope brush selected, and now you're just gonna drag, and if you go Command, oh,
I love how easy this is, and like you don't really have to be like drawing over yourself perfectly.
no, you don't. And I can make the brush bigger. It's one of these keys, and now it's not working for me, but there's a way to make it bigger, but it's fine. It's quite good as it is. If you press Option, you'll see it turn red, and you can kind of remove anything that you don't want it to grab. And so I'm at the beginning of the sequence of the timeline. So from here, I'm just going to, now that I have myself outlined, that's who I want to like track. I'm just
Okay.
gonna press the space bar,
My name is
and it's
Fabiola
gonna start
Lara, and I'm a
like
Chilean.
getting all that data. And you just want it to like run that whole way through.
Just to kind of
An
make
American
sure.
To make
illustrator.
sure, yeah.
My name is
Okay.
Okay, so
Fabiola
that
Lara,
looks
and
good. So it did a great job. If it hadn't, you would just go in and like clean it up a little bit and play it through again.
So this would be like the more advanced version of like doing like a remove background in Express, right?
Exactly. It's more
Okay.
advanced, and it's a little bit more
illustrator,
accurate.
designer,
Okay.
content
And you
creator,
have a little bit more
based here in
control
Philadelphia.
on, like,
My name
what
is
the edges
Fabiola
look
Lara,
like.
and I'm a
Okay.
Chilean
So you
American
can get like a nice
illustrator,
crisp
designer,
edge.
content
Do you
creator,
always need that?
Based here in Philadelphia.
No, but
My name
sometimes
is
it's nice.
It does elevate the quality of your
Yeah,
content,
it just depends how you want it. So once you have
Designer,
that set, you want to make sure you hit freeze. So now it's like holding that, so it's not constantly generating that every single time you press play, because then your computer might burst. And once you're there, just click save, and let's move back over to Premiere. And now we have both, but you can't tell because right now they're just stacked on top of each other. So I'm gonna move this up. Oops, I need more space here. Move that up. I'm gonna move these up. Oh, where did it go? Let's make sure that it's saved. No, don't want to update it. Just want to make sure it's
My
playing.
name is
through it.
Fabiola Lara, and
Let's
I'm a
see.
Chilean American.
Maybe it didn't hold it. Hold on. Unfreeze. Let's play it again. No, there it is.
My name is Fabiola Lara, and I'm a Chilean American illustrator, designer,
You can see
You
it
can
in the
see
top
it,
too.
yeah.
In that version.
illustrator,
Would it
designer,
have done it
content
for
creator.
half of the footage? Is that
Maybe
possible?
it's possible. Let's see.
Because you
But
can
it's only
see,
like a flash.
Yeah, like see there. in that
There.
little-
And
yeah.
then, okay, so here, let's press the rotoscope brush. Make sure we have it selected. Right here.
Illustrator.
Oops. Now it's just I'm just saying the same word over and over again. Okay, I'm gonna move this to the top. Let's make sure that it's running here. Propagating.
And while we're kind of loading, there is a question that's maybe something that you could answer in the chat. It says, when I move things from Illustrator to Express, my quality is always low or pixelated, even if I grab it and move it into my brand library. Do you have any advice?
From Illustrator to Express and it's still pixelated. If you're using Illustrator, it really shouldn't be pixelated because it's all vectory. So maybe you're not having that canvas be big enough, so you could try stretching it out, stretching that artboard, and then bringing it over to your brand board. that could help. And if you're in Photoshop, you're gonna have to have a higher DPI file, but sometimes it might look pixelated in the menu, but then when you actually move it to your canvas on Adobe Express, it's clear.
Fine.
It's fine. So
Sometimes it takes a second
takes a
too, I've
second.
noticed.
Yeah.
Like, for me,
And I'm
I
a
kind of have to
Chilean-American
like let
illustrator,
it give it a
designer,
second
content creator,
inside of Adobe
based here in
Express.
Philadelphia. My name
okay, so I mean,
is
it's
Fabiola.
tracking me here, render, roto brush, refine edge. Let's try it again, freezing. Is it only doing it for like a section?
That's what I was saying. It's like that second part of the clip.
Yeah. So bizarre.
Is there, what
Well-
if you were to do it separately for each of those two clips?
Yeah,
Maybe.
let's try that. I'm gonna delete it
I'm
and
speaking as if I like use After Effects every day, girl. So
I
if what I'm
just
saying
did
doesn't make
it.
sense, just let me know.
I just did it and it worked fine, but maybe now it's, it's not feeling like it. So I know this clip is like fine all the way through, so I don't really even know why there was a cut there, probably from when I was doing the text effects. I put that little cut in there. So now I'm gonna do it again, so right click, well first duplicate. I'm gonna put the duplicate on top. I'm gonna hit right click, replace with After Effects composition, and you know what, I'm just gonna close this composition, goodbye, and replace with After Effects composition. We have a new one coming up. Just in case,
Better to be safe than sorry, I feel like.
Yes,
I have like this motto I use with my team, you guys. I'm always like, when in doubt, close it out. Because we'll just close the program
just
and
like,
reopen. And I'm like, let me
rethink
just,
this.
let me just start again from scratch.
And now it's giving me the death spiral. Okay. Not great here, guys. After Effects. Where is my force quit? Now, oh, okay. Let's try. Let's try quitting all of it. Let's try just, here we go. Let's restart. Wow.
Nicole
So
was
many
like
alerts.
loving your trick with the text effects in the green screen, by the way.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'm going to just reopen this project, take it from the top here. Let's see. I also have it pre-cooked, so maybe instead of just like sitting there doing it and having it kind of
Give us a bit of an
give
issue.
us an issue, like we'll go like this. So like in the final edit, you can see here, I have,
You were in front of the text.
I'm in front of the text, and it's here. If I right click and I go do open in, I have the After Effect file. Let's see if we can do it. One more time. This is the last time.
Third time's the charm.
Right click, replace with After Effects composition. Reset preferences. We're starting fresh.
Yes.
All right, and we're back.
At this point, you guys should know the steps. So what's the first one?
Yes. Hit rotoscope, double click. We're in here. I'm gonna really quickly just grab all of this.
That was
Okay.
actually so perfect.
I know that worked out well. I'm gonna hit the space bar. There it goes. See, it knows that it did it already.
Yeah, it has
knows.
memory.
It has memory. It knows that we already were here before. And let it go all the way through, and then
And
let's
you
watch
can
it
see
one
like
more
in
time.
that little screen.
Yeah,
that
it's black.
Looks like it worked.
Yes. Okay, now you want to hit freeze. Let it do that. Dun-dun-dun. All right, now we're back in Premiere Pro, and let's see if it's done it. Oh, I have the wrong one in here, maybe? Yeah, there we go. All right, so it should be working just fine now.
Yay!
It was the same exact steps.
I love it. It was just keeping
It
us
was just
humble.
keeping, it was just like,
It
are
really
you sure?
wanted you to show us the steps.
It was like, okay, so let me just get reorganized here. Okay, that's all good. So that's one of the many ways that you could incorporate these text effects, but I was just setting you up to show you how now you've opened up a whole new world of putting effects in once you learn the rotoscoping tool in Premiere Pro, because now we can create all sorts of effects using Firefly, text to video, or even text to image. So let's jump over to text to video. So just as a reminder, there's a little bit in here that I say like based in Philadelphia. I want to have like some Philadelphia vibe in there, right?
Yes.
Like that. And I don't have a drone. Some people have drones, not I.
That's cool. Also, some people have the time to go out and get a bunch of cinematic footage that they can bring into their content. But, like, I'm sure you feel this too. Like, you're a full-time designer. Like, you don't have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, you want to be able to create something on the fly and, like,
and just add a little bit of it. But
spice.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't need like gigabytes of B-roll for this.
Right.
So there's a lot of ways to prompt Adobe Firefly text to video. And as you can see here, I've tried many. I wanted to be very Philadelphia, so I thought, okay, what about classic cheesesteak with only cheese, beef and onions, flying in Philadelphia skyline? So here's what it gave me so that we don't have to sit here loading since, what did I do? That was weird. So this is a crazy one that it gave me. Obviously, my prompt was wild, which is why it did this, but kind of cool, kind of quirky, definitely something I could work with. But like we were talking before our stream, you can also use something like ChatGPT to help you write a really good prompt, because I feel like that's not my, I'm not a huge expert on how to do that. And so I have this cheesesteak prompt from ChatGPT's help for Adobe Firefly, and it was, I'm gonna read it out loud to you. It's like
I'm here for
poetry.
it. Also, I feel like you should like really say this with all of your energy.
I feel like
this needs to be a cut down.
This is a poem, essentially.
Yes. Okay, read it to me like this was a love letter.
A stunning video of the Philadelphia skyline on a bright, clear spring day. The sky is a vibrant blue with a few soft clouds drifting by. Lush green trees and blooming flowers frame the cityscape. In the foreground, a realistic, delicious Philadelphia cheesesteak with melting cheese and sizzling steak floats playfully through the air, moving as if carried by a gentle breeze.
Okay, why am I drooling?
The scene is dynamic with subtle camera motion that captures the city's beauty and whimsical cheesesteak in flight.
I love it.
I'm saying that's definitely like, put that on like a stone, like that should be on a bench.
Yeah,
You know,
it should
like,
be on a plaque
it should be
somewhere.
a plaque, yeah.
Like when you enter Philadelphia, this should be somewhere.
Should be one of the primary images. Okay, so I already have it generated, but I just want to show you just real quick how something like this would work. I'm gonna drop this prompt in here and you hit generate. And it's going to take a minute to think in here. And it kind of depends how long it's going to take, depends on how tricky your prompt is. So let's see if we have time here for it, or maybe I should just show you what I got.
I also love these little creatures, but I don't know what to call them.
They're
other
like
than creatures.
little babies.
They are. They're like the little Firefly furry family.
They are. They're collectible. They should be collectible.
Actually, yes. Can we? I don't know who we need to talk to about this, but chat
Little statues.
Stop. My desk setup though would be insane
With your fireflies?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what this prompt generated earlier today, just so that I don't hold up the stream. Let's please. What are we doing here? Full screen.
I love that it flew in, stopped. It's like, hey.
Oh,
and then
it is so funny. Is that a genuine traditional cheesesteak? Are there a few quirks? Yeah, forgivable though, because it's so cinematic. It's so dramatic. It's bringing a lot of personality. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit download. Now it's in my folder. I already have this in my project, so I'm just gonna jump over and grab it. So footage, B-roll, Firefly, and And okay, it's one of these. I have a lot of options here. I have a lot of Philadelphia skyline. Oh. Let's just bring it in. Let's just bring it in from my downloads, just so that I don't. All right. No, it was in there all along. Okay. So I'm going to drag it down. It's like when you're on the stream, you can't read. Drag it down.
This chat is like, you guys are really going off with the cheesecake.
You can do this with your city and your city's food. So
actually, please do and tag us. We want to see it.
Please do. And bring it in green screen. Okay, so now the little part where I say Philadelphia, I want to time it. So let's go. Let's unmute.
Creator based here in Philadelphia. When I went
Okay, so it's a little too long, right? So like I want it to move a little faster. So I'm just gonna take this tool here. You want to do a right click and hit rate stretch, and that's gonna just like to where you need it. So hopefully it's not too fast. So let's see what happens if I do it like right around here. It might be too fast, and we might cut it down.
Based here in Philadelphia. When I went to college,
it's a little fast, but it's not like terrible. I might start it like right in here, so I'm just gonna cut some of that excess, because like you get the point once it starts moving.
Jack says joined and saw a flying sandwich.
It's perfect. Okay, let's go.
Based here in Philadelphia. When I went to college,
I'm not sure why it's doing a little jitter. Oh, I know why it's doing a jitter. It's because of that After Effects composition being heavy. Something that is a cool trick if you're doing a lot of these is to, you want to basically duplicate it, and then you can turn it off. And then you're going to right click the duplicate and go into, it's like the render and replace right here, render and replace. And we're basically going to make it its own video so that it stops it stops talking to After Effects. But when you do this, you want to make sure you hit Apple ProRes 4444. Otherwise, it will no longer be transparent, and we're going to be back to a black background.
Okay.
So definitely hit that. Press OK. Let it transcode. Let it do its thing. And then like your overall sequence will just be a little bit lighter. So here we go.
Chilean American, illustrator, designer, content creator, based here in Philadelphia. When
I don't know why it's doing that little glitch, but
I think it's maybe because in the original video it like kind of comes and stops and then goes.
Oh, you're right. It's just the speed. It's the speed. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let me see.
Based here in Philadelphia.
So if we do it, maybe I'll just bring it in and not do the speed thing and just instead cut it down to where we want. So maybe it's like right here, and see if that works a little bit better. It's that, essentially.
Yeah.
I think that when it's sped up, it actually goes back a little bit when it floats. Really good point. Thanks for bringing that up.
Based here in Philadelphia. When I went to college.
It's too slow. So I'm going to do it a little.
Could you just increase the speed a bit, or would that be different than what you were trying to do?
I think it's the same. I think I just was
Based here in
compressing it too
Philadelphia.
much.
When I went to college, I didn't think.
Okay, let's bring it in. Let's see what our limit is. Maybe we can do it there.
Based here in Philadelphia. When I went.
Okay, what if I do. I'm going to cut out the middle. What if I cut out the middle?
I was going to suggest that, or even like leaving the middle and then speeding up the in and speeding up the out.
When I went to college.
Could be an idea.
I think we might have to do that. Let's see. Or I could have it like start like that.
Based here in Philadelphia. When I went to college.
So there are some options here, but yeah, you can usually, you could use the speed duration, but this is like the same thing. So let's see if this does anything different.
Based here in Philadelphia.
That's so bizarre.
I feel like it almost needs like the flying in sped up, then it needs like regular speed in the middle, and then the flying out sped up.
Okay, so if I go here, cut that.
Yeah.
Bring it in. And then we're gonna go to here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to bring this part in. Okay, let's see if it worked.
I really hope this works.
The subtleties of the video. Okay.
Based here in Philadelphia.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't have a solution.
You know what? Let me just real quick. Let's do render into out. Maybe there's like something else going on here just because it's got a lot happening. So render into out. Let it load up. Maybe then it'll, maybe
What does
there's
that
like a
do?
missing. I feel like it like preloads everything.
Oh.
So then it's not like constantly kind of reading itself, and it makes things go by faster. But if you make any changes, then you have to redo it. So that's why it's not like you usually
My name
do
is
it.
Fabiola Lara, and I'm a Chilean-American illustrator, designer, content creator based here in Philadelphia.
You see, it was just the playback. All right.
Wow.
Based here in Philadelphia.
And
So
you
it's
know
always
something,
little
if you
things.
didn't teach me that, and this was a project I was working on, believe it or not, I would have literally been
You'd be
still
like,
sitting
no
here.
clip.
Yeah.
Actually, cut the whole Philadelphia thing out.
Yeah, exactly, though. That is
Yeah.
the tip of the day, y'all.
Yes.
Render into out.
Sometimes you need to. Sometimes, or
Okay.
I also could have dropped it from full to half, and maybe it would have been smoother. That could have also been another thing. So okay, now I've shown you. You can use the text effect. You can use rotoscoping so that you can use your Adobe Firefly videos in a more creative ways. Here we have a really beautiful, inspiring cheesesteak.
I love the word inspiring.
And now I want to show you how we can do some like fun green screen effects. So because I want to, you know, do as much as we can in this time, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can load some of the ones that I already did just to show you. I've rendered a lot of things here. But the one that I wanted to check out was this one, Warm Subtle Light Flare. I don't know, actually, was that it or was it? I have a few. Let's check this one out. I love that it keeps all the versions because
Right.
sometimes you're like, wait, what did I write for that? What did I write?
And you want to
can
go
reference it.
back,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, yeah. So I like this one. It looks really dramatic here, but remember you can tone it down. We can play with it. So I have that already downloaded, but you would just go here, download, and bring it into Premiere. I have a whole folder here with, it's the same folder, I believe. Okay, and then Warm Subtle Light. There it is. So I'm gonna drag this right on top of my cheesesteak clip, kind of blending into my other clip, just so like a little transition effect. We're gonna go back to effects and type in key and get that same color key trick that we used earlier for the text on this actual video effect that we made. And I'm gonna use the dropper. I'm gonna try and find a spot where it's really green. Okay, get that dropper and then kind of key that out. So I know this looks wild, but you have to be patient.
And trust the process.
You have to trust the process. Also, if you see that it's like eating too much of the part that you don't want to remove, you can always add another color key. Just drag another one. And now you have two. And you can just grab, well, that's my chair, but you can like grab a different color and like, now that part's gone. So there are ways to play with it. I could even drop another one because there's like this light green that like we could try and remove.
Your chair is green. I just got what you said.
Yeah, my chair is green, so I can't. I thought that was part of the graphic, but it wasn't. Okay, so something like this, and I want to feather this effect. I feel like because it's a lens flare, so I'm going to feather it out. Okay, I'm going to remove some more of this green. So we're just playing here. There's no like exact science to this. You just want to try and remove as much green as you can. All right, so let's try that, and then if I just play this through.
Here in Philadelphia.
It's
when
a
I went to
little, like,
college, I didn't think being an
I don't know, like a
artist.
cartoon. Not very realistic. We can make it a little bit more realistic by playing with the opacity and the blend mode of this clip. So
Okay.
for the blend mode, I always pick a different one. So it really kind of depends on the asset, but you just want to like go through and see which one is giving you the effect that you want. So all of these ones are going to darken it, so we don't want that. All of these are going to lighten it, so let's play with those. So like that already looks kind of good. Screen. Okay, let's try that. What about lighter color? Okay, I think I'm gonna go with lighten for now. And it's just too like noticeable, so I'm just gonna make it like a little it's barely there. And then let's play it through.
Based here in Philadelphia. When I went to college, I didn't think being an
So
artist.
it's working nicely, but it's a little too long again. So I'm gonna use the rate stretch tool. And if we need to, we'll drop our frame rate so that it doesn't skip. So let's go to half. And let's play that through.
Based here in Philadelphia. When I went to college, I
So
didn't
that
think
works a
being
lot
an
better.
artist
It did the little skip there at the end, but we know that's fake. It's lying to us. And I think I want it to end like right here. So I'm just gonna remove that part. And let's see.
Based here in Philadelphia. When I went to college, I didn't.
So that's like another
love
way to do it,
that.
another little effect. And this ended kind of abruptly, right? Because I cut it.
Right.
I'm just gonna go over, I'm gonna click this clip, click, and go over to Effect Controls. And I'm gonna go to like nearly the end. I can tell from my timeline. And I'm gonna hit opacity. And then I'm gonna go to the end of my timeline and I'm gonna hit 0 opacity. And that's gonna like instantly
When
fade
I went to
out.
college, I didn't.
I
think
love that. And it kind of just looks more intentional, like with the way
Yeah.
that it's kind of faded out, right?
Yeah, obviously, like if I was outside, this would probably look better on the other side of it. But this is just one lens flare. We can generate a ton of different lens flare. This one is pretty like dramatic. You could do something more subtle. And you can just like ask ChatGPT for different ways to prompt that. I think I've created some other options here. No, that one, let's see this one. Yeah, here's another effect for the lens flare. Wow, more dramatic. So I don't know if I would want that one, but it's an option. You have options. The other one that I made here was this firework one, because I was like, that could be a fun way to be like, I have a new project.
Right.
Let's play it.
Okay, that's so cool.
It's really like in your face, but it's cool. So if we download this, I would just do the same exact thing over here and grab it from my downloads and move it in, to my project. Bring it over to, there's too many bins here. These are all
I
those.
feel like you're so organized though on the back
I
end.
tried, but you know what? I think all of those links are here. Like, remember when when
Yes.
it crashed? I think they're still there. I have to go in and delete them. So I'm gonna move that over to Firefly. And now I'm going to, sometimes it's better to go to icon view, and then we can really see all of these ones that we have in here. Footage, icon view. Okay, I think maybe I have to go like this. Okay, there we go. So here we have it. I'm just gonna drag it on top. Oops. Wow, what is happening? I'm gonna go back to this view and just drag it in. Okay. And it's the same effect every time. And one quick thing that you can do to just make it faster is go to the one that you already have keyed out, press copy, go over to your other clip, right click, paste attributes. You have all these color keys that you've already done. Hit OK. That didn't quite work, but we can just like play with it. So maybe there's too many.
It sets you up. Though,
Yeah, it
right?
sets you up because maybe there was too much removal on the previous one. And so let's see what this looks like.
I think being an artist was actually.
Okay,
an
so there's a
option,
way,
like,
if
at
you
all.
can imagine that if I like rotoscoped myself out again,
Right.
you could put it in your background and be like,
Right.
have a really fun like little pop-up
Moment.
experience. Yes, and one last quick thing I know in these last few minutes, I also want to show you that you can use Generative Extend to extend a clip if you like need a few more frames. Like you just didn't film a few seconds and you really need it. All you need to do is go over to your project. I'm gonna grab this one clip that I have that I know I'm missing like just a little bit of. This one. Nope, it's not that one. It is this one. All right, so here's this machine, and I wanted to put it where I talk about my machine.
And eventually I just decided to go for it and I've been lucky enough to work with brands.
I think it's over here.
Just recently launched a brand new project. I have mini print vending machines placed.
Yes, okay. So the clip was already in there. Silly me. And all you need to do in Adobe Premiere Pro Beta, so I'm gonna have to quit this real quick, get rid of this, save it, bye-bye. In Premiere Pro Beta, it's not available in just the regular Premiere Pro, but if you open the Beta 1 up, which I think would be this one, right-click, open with Beta, you'll have the option to just like pull it out just a touch. And it's really subtle, but like sometimes that's exactly what you need to like fix the pacing. Because sometimes it's like, oh, it just cut like a little too abruptly.
Right.
So now we're in beta, and all you have to do is we have this button here, which we didn't have in the standard Premiere Pro. So you just click that, and then just like pull it out a little bit. It doesn't support the length of the clip. It did earlier. Okay, hold on. Let me go into, that was supposed to be nice and quick and short. Go into my project, footage. Here we go. There it is already extended, but I think I have the short one right here. So just to show you again, for whatever reason, I'm gonna hit Generative Extend tool and just lift it out. I think it's because it has audio. So I'm just gonna remove that. There we go.
So that's a good little tip.
Yeah,
is, like,
it can't have audio, which I thought I had removed it, but you know, we're working in this little, it's a bit squished, so I must have missed it.
Can you, if it was something that had audio, would you just like, could you unlink the audio? Okay.
Yeah, I would just unlink the audio, but then when you extend it, you're not gonna have audio.
Right.
On those few clips. So you have to have a plan for that, which maybe you're just moving into voiceover and it's fine. It can kind of, it's not a huge deal for it to layer. But if it has like dialogue, it might be a little tricky. But you know, it's pretty helpful, and it's usually pretty quick. Let me see, I have it already preloaded. I can just show you what it did here so that we're not waiting around. Right here. It'll tell you what parts AI generated too.
This is keeping me really busy.
So it just like barely extended it.
What else? This is keeping me really busy. I have to.
So it's pretty neat. You can just have more ways to play with it. I could have also extended it in the other direction. So that's cool too. Like maybe I should have zoomed into it. But you can only extend it one way once. So once you extend it that way, you need to like redo it in order to do, you know, bring it in. But that's all I have for you. That's a lot of little ways to use Adobe Firefly.
I love this. So let's like recap kind of what we did today for anybody who's just tuning in so they know what to look for in the replay.
Yes. So today what we did was go over how you can use text effects to generate cool titles that you can put into your videos, how to rotoscope yourself out rotoscope yourself so that the background comes out, and how to add some really cool city pride to your videos using Adobe Text to Video, Firefly, and using ChatGPT to help you get that done.
This was so incredible.
Yes, we covered a lot of ground here, guys. I hope you found it helpful. And yeah, I got to keep playing with Firefly.
I know. There's so I feel like the world it's truly like your oyster with Firefly.
It's unlimited. Up to you.
So as we kind of get ready for the next stream, let us know, have you tried playing around with any of the Firefly video features yet in the comments? And we'll be back in a few minutes where I'll be showing you how to use Firefly to create some fun social content as well.
Yes, I can't wait to see that.
All right, guys, we'll see you in a few.
Bye. Hello, welcome back. We've switched seats. We're here again. I'm Fabiola Lara. I'll be hosting today, and we have here Brittany Megan from Socials and Stilettos. She's going to be showing us how to create some amazing videos using Adobe Firefly for social, and I'm really excited to see this because you never know what you're going to get, and it's going to be an exciting stream, and it's so flexible that you can kind of really do whatever you want, which is kind of like the fun of it all.
It's so true, and I'm so excited. I mean, I have had so much fun with Firefly over the past, I want to say, like, couple of weeks, specifically since all of the new video features have come out, like text to video, and then you have image to video, and I am, like, somebody who I always say I have, like, a lot of big ideas, but, like, not all the time do you have like a production budget to bring it to life or the skill set. Like, I am a social media girly. I am not like your cinematographer.
And to make it look as polished as you want. Like, you have the vision, but it can be tough to execute.
Exactly. So I'm going to show you guys on our Instagram one of the videos that I had actually created inside of Adobe Firefly when the feature had just launched. And let me actually just make sure this is muted so that we don't pop off with my trending audio behind.
I want to give a little shout out to the chat while we wait for things to load up here. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Jeffrey. Hi, Alex Leeson. Thanks for being here.
So now that we kind of have this loaded, hopefully you guys can't hear what this is, but you can see I had this vision, and girl, let me tell you.
Executed it.
It came to life. Let me tell you, though, it did not happen in, 20 minutes. Like, it was a lot of playing around with prompts, and I'm somebody who honestly, like, I'm still learning a lot of these tools, but this just goes to show you that if you trust your vision and, you take the time to actually pour into the tools that you're working with, like, you can create something really, really cool. Like, this here was a giant stiletto towering over the city of Toronto, which is where I'm from, and then I just animated it to bring my logo in with Adobe Express. So
I feel like this video is so you.
It is.
I'm like, this is perfect. You really like nailed it, and Firefly like understood.
It
you.
understood the assignment.
And,
okay,
and you had to, I'm sure, be patient in terms of getting that prompted correctly, because there's a million ways to describe that.
100%. And honestly, like, you can, one of the biggest things is like, is this like super realistic if like in Toronto, like this probably, like, see the rivers there?
Yeah.
But nobody really is going to notice that. Like, when I'm literally just trying to create fun content for socials, you can see here, like, we had such positive feedback on this
the
post.
Vibe,
Yeah. And I had people like DMing me, like, how did you create that? That is so cool.
It is cool.
So it was a lot of fun. I mean, with the prompt, let me see if I can pause this here so we can get more of like a close up on what the photo looks like. I started by creating the photo in Firefly, which is what we're going to kind of do. And I'm kind of envisioning to do the same thing for San Francisco.
Yeah, I think
because
you can
we're
do
here,
it.
right?
You can do it. I mean, what's a better way to say I'm in San Francisco than a pink stiletto heel in San Francisco for you? I don't think there's a better post.
Right.
So,
and I think it's so cool. And I think it could be even like a little series that I do with our community. Like, every time we go somewhere new or we have a new client in a new place, we kind of set a little virtual stiletto down on, right?
So cute.
The vision is there.
It's like the metaphor, everything. It's really well thought out. And I'm really interested in hearing how you're going to like first generate the image and then generate the video, because in my stream earlier, I went straight to video, and it can be hit or miss. It's tricky, just like anything when you're trying to prompt AI. So I'm curious to see how that works out.
Yes, and it might take a little bit, like we know with Firefly, although I did just actually see, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, I got a notification saying there's like an ultra fast option now for text to image. So you can actually see I was kind of working away already and kind of generated a bunch of different things. And I had the vision. So I was like going and adjusting my prompt as I went. But I did see, hold on a second.
I love seeing all those different versions of stilettos. It's so like it's just so overwhelming, and you're just trying to like curate your taste essentially.
Right. And like just kind of like bring your vision to life. And again, as somebody who like, you have this big idea and vision, like that ChatGPT GPT hack that we were talking
Yeah.
about before. Such a great idea. Earlier today, somebody had mentioned rewrite. So inside of Adobe Express as well, I have my like prompt that I had gotten in ChatGPT and, you know, was able to create something really cool with that. But I want to like test the rewrite feature inside of Adobe Express.
We should see how
and
that works
play.
out.
So,
Definitely.
I mean, if you guys are down to play, to experiment, to do a little, I want to say like a little
Testing.
lab
Yes,
lab
yes.
assessment assignment, drop, I don't know if there's a lab emoji. Is there a science tube emoji?
There is a science tube emoji.
Yes, drop it in the chat because we're going to have some fun here.
And if you have any suggestions along the way while Brittany is making this in terms of like, maybe you should say this, or maybe if you change this word,
Yes.
maybe it'll do what you want. Go ahead. I'm reading the chat. If you have prompt suggestions, we'll maybe try them out.
Help us out, chat. We're here for that. And you can see this is what I was talking about here. Fast mode, text to image. This has to be
Okay.
new. I never saw it before.
No.
And I got like a notification when I jumped in here with this feature. So I think it is brand new. So what I noticed is the text to image has been a lot faster today while I was using it, which is so fun. So the first thing that we're going to kind of do is start off with text to image. And, you know, I'm going to be very simple with my prompt. And let's just start somewhere.
Yeah.
And then build on it from there. I think it's really cool when you can kind of see what it creates because as we know, like no Firefly prompt like used the same way is going to generate the same result. Did that make sense? The way
Yes,
that I
like
said
even
it?
if you did this yesterday, today it
Right.
might give you something a little different.
different.
And you need to build upon it and see where it takes you essentially.
Exactly. So what we're going to kind of do is a couple of things. One, I really should have saved this photo, but I didn't. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I do
Probably in your history somewhere.
somewhere,
Yeah.
right? But just in case, I want to kind of have that screenshot that if I need to bring in, I want to say like a reference, maybe I could. I don't want it to get confused by the CN Tower in the background though, because that is like very Toronto.
That's true.
So I'm not going to start there because I don't want to set us up. I want to set us up for success.
Yeah.
So
You have to kind of start thinking like it doesn't know where you're trying to go. You got to
Right.
start from the top. Take it from the top.
right, exactly. So there is so many different, you know, when you're in Firefly options that you can choose on the side. Have you used text to image a
Yes.
lot? So do you
It's
have
pretty
any
cool.
tips that you can share with me? Because I kind of just look at it, choose the little visuals that I'm like, that kind of
Yeah.
looks where I'm going, and then go from there.
I feel like using the reference is always really handy if you have the composition that you already have in mind. So that's why I was kind of curious if you put that reference in there for composition.
Should we
But
try?
We can try it, but again, there's a chance that it takes it too seriously. But it might also help because it'll just give it like a jumping
idea.
off point. Yeah, a jumping off point. And I would maybe do the strength not so strong so that it still kind of does its own thing instead of being too regimented.
Okay, so maybe we'll does it give us an option in between?
Guess not. Guess
Okay,
leave it
we're going to do in the
then.
middle.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
definitely. And there are so many options now. I feel like even just a little bit ago, there weren't as many different selections that you
Right.
could make. And now there definitely is.
I think like every time I open, you know, Firefly or Adobe Express, those are like my two very like most used tools recently because I've been really exploring this content lab concept inside of Adobe Firefly. There's always something new and fun.
Yeah, there is. There are so like constant improvements, and I'm always like, ooh, what happens if I press this button today? You know,
Right,
Like, where
like,
is
what
this
is
gonna
this gonna
take
do?
me? How many variations am I gonna get? And that's always like the fun of it.
For sure. So I don't think that we really need like a style reference, would you say? Like, I mean, we could upload that as a style reference, but like I don't want to confuse it. So
I don't want to
think-
confuse it. I feel like
Right.
you can edit the style reference
So we're
as you
gonna
go.
kind of
Yeah.
minimize that out. Actually, hold on a second. Maybe what we do want though is the effects. And I think what I had done was hyper realistic.
That makes sense.
And I didn't really choose too much with the lighting or angle or anything. I think like just starting there maybe and building on it is a great idea. So let's do the prompt as a giant pink stiletto high heel. And the reason why I put stiletto high heel is because if you just write stiletto, I don't think it registers the type of, like, that I'm talking about a shoe.
Yeah.
And I know what stiletto is, and you might know what stiletto is, but we gotta, like, really be super specific here. And then if I just say high heel, it doesn't come with the style of the heel that I want.
Right.
So,
It'll probably give you all sorts of heels.
right, which could be cool.
Platform or
Yeah,
something.
did a lot of pumps. Like, it reminded, did you ever watch Jersey Shore?
Yes.
It was a lot of, like, Snooki pumps going on. And I was like, cute, but, like, not exactly what I was looking for.
Not your branding right now, definitely.
Yes. Okay, so a giant pink stiletto high heel. I want to say the word that I used was towering over the city. San Francisco is a city, right?
Yes.
City of San
Francisco. And then you want to be descriptive about, like, what about San Francisco it's featuring, right?
Right. Like, and that's why I kind of feel like the city of San Francisco. Do we put skyline? Like, I want it to be in the middle of San Francisco. Maybe it's like towering over the city of
The center of the city? No, I don't know if it'll...
over the city of San Francisco. Chat, do you have any suggestions for us? Stiletto is also a sword. That is really interesting. Maybe that is why stilettos are called stilettos, because they're a little dangerous.
They are, yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's start here and
Nicole's
let's kind of
saying
see.
Golden Gate Bridge, which...
Now, the thing I want to say, like, we could definitely add in Golden Gate Bridge, but from my prompts, what it was doing before was it was just kind of showing the Golden Gate Bridge. And I really
like
want...
a suggestion.
Yes, and I kind of want, like, the city.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we put Golden Gate Bridge in the background with the Golden Gate Bridge in the distance.
Yeah, like maybe it's like the skyline with the Golden Gate Bridge in the distance or something. I know you don't have skyline in there because you want to be in the midst of it, but how do we say, like, in the center, in the center of the city?
Standing over the city of standing over in the center, standing over the city of San Francisco in the center of the town, in the center of the city.
Of the city?
In the center of the city. I wonder if we take this. I'm just curious. Let's bring it in and rewrite, and let's see what happens. Rephrase. And what, I mean, let's
This is
just
so
generate.
cool. I haven't used rewrite in here before.
Okay. A massive, a colossal. Yes.
Yes. Colossal pink stiletto.
Looms above, wow.
Looms above the heart. Again, poetry.
Ooh, literally, if we were to read this, though, like, as a story, what would we say? A colossal pink stiletto high heel looms above the heart of San Francisco with the Golden Gate Bridge visible in the background.
I like it.
Right?
I think that's perfect.
Okay, so
It, like, got in our brains.
I know. Do we copy and paste?
I
or
would
do we-
copy and paste that.
Let's
Andre's
see.
saying waterfront. Maybe we'll try
Waterfront.
waterfront on the next one.
Yes.
And,
okay.
Oh, Jeffrey's saying implanted in the city. That could be, but maybe it'll, like, plant it like a plant. I don't know.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
if it's, where it'll take it.
Let's see what happens with this one, and then we can
I'm
kind of try
excited.
some different things after.
This, okay, maybe we have to remove the style reference.
Okay, so now it should be just as easy as doing
Yeah,
that,
it should
right?
be.
Just closing it off, and let's hope
And what's the, yeah. Okay.
that one is taking on its own form of stiletto.
Yes, that's its own bridge, essentially.
It is the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, like when Socials and Stilettos comes to San Francisco, we are now the bridge.
Yeah. Wow.
I
Okay.
definitely think that seeing that, the style, I guess the style reference,
Yeah,
the
the
composition reference is what we're calling it, right? Kind of does make a difference.
I wonder if you, instead of putting it as composition, what happens if you put it over in the style section?
Okay, let's see.
Maybe it'll keep the style but listen to your prompt more?
Okay.
Maybe not.
I'm excited to see.
It's a bit of a test.
Val says, I'm impressed. Okay.
medium. We're kind of hit like an in between. Like that
Yes.
third one, it's kind of interesting. But you do
Yes.
want like, almost want the heel to be a building.
Right. Like, that's the thing, is we want the heel to be maybe the word implanted. Let's try.
Let's try that.
And I wonder if it's still kind of not. I liked this more than I liked this, I
those
think.
ones,
So I think
yeah.
we almost take it out of style,
Style. Mhm.
and put it back to composition.
Yeah,
Also, can we talk about like how quickly this is loading?
it's nice.
The
We're
Firefly
gonna be
team.
able to see so many versions of this.
I know. They know what they're doing, let me tell you. Okay, so implanted in the heart of San Fran, maybe like instead of looms above.
Yeah, maybe
them,
like
implanted in the
it could also be like amongst.
amongst.
Like a giant heel amongst the buildings, right? Because that's the thing. We don't want it so big that it's bigger than the buildings.
Well, you kind of do, because look, this is bigger than the CN Tower,
true.
girl. And my idea with this is kind of like that impact of like we are taking over the city.
Yeah.
You know, but like when I got too crazy with my prompt, it was a little spooky. It was taking over too much of the city. And I'm like,
yeah.
no, that's a little much even for me. So we kind of want it like towering over the city.
Yeah,
But
towering
not-
over. Implanted could give you the result that we're looking for. Let's see what happens.
Let's see. I'm telling you, I want to go back in the chat and see who was it that said implanted, because
It was Jeffrey.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for the implanted.
see.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the thing though. It brought the CN Tower in.
Yeah. Okay. But you can tell it to leave it out.
Okay.
And does it have to always be a square?
You know, I want to say normally actually we would do portrait.
Okay.
Portrait, because then we have more room, and especially if we're like working with Instagram or any social platform, you're kind of going to use that formatting anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We're getting close.
I want to remove with the Golden Gate Bridge, because I think it's getting confused with the CN Tower and the Golden Gate Bridge. So maybe
Do you
I
want
will
to
just
write
put-
out the CN Tower? Do you want to be like, do not, there is no.
We could probably try, right, with the Golden Gate Bridge. Golden Gate Bridge in the background. No CN Tower?
Yeah. Right?
And let's try.
I don't know. You can try it.
I mean, all we can do is try and see what happens. I wonder what it would do if you added a phrase
like
like
tilt
tilt
shift.
shift or any other keyword reference to the style of photography. Where would you put that, Val?
Yeah. I think because we're saying Golden Gate Bridge, it's putting the stiletto on top of the hill instead
Okay.
of in the middle of the city.
Right.
So,
Because here, see, it is pulling in the tower. So I want to get rid of this.
Yeah.
We're going to just say generate. I think the thing about the composition is because it sees that
it follows it too
tower,
much.
right? So I think what I want to do here is take the prompt that I had used over here, which was this one here, I think.
Yes.
Or maybe even if we went down, we can see this is more like San Francisco
Yeah.
here. So this is standing on the city of San Francisco. So different play on words, right? And this is where I feel like also, let me try opening an entirely new tab.
Yes.
And seeing.
That's what, that's been
start
my
from
experience
scratch.
with it, is when I open a new tab and put the same exact prompt, sometimes it behaves a little bit different, which that makes sense.
Right.
But maybe it gets you closer to what you were imagining.
Okay, so let's try this and see. And actually, okay, this is
So
kinda
maybe it's
cool.
like you have to zoom in a little bit.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I think Val's idea of tilt shift might be what we're missing.
You could write the prompt with something like a tilt shift. Ah, okay.
A tilt shift shot of a stiletto.
A tilt shift shot of a giant pink stiletto high heel standing over, I think it's still standing over, the city of San Francisco. Let's see, Val.
I'm so curious. It's
This
sort
one
of,
here.
but it's like not landing on it, right?
Right. So I wonder if it's like
Amongst?
standing in.
Yeah, standing
In.
in.
Let's see.
Let's see.
I'm really asking Adobe Firefly to do the Lord's work right now, you guys.
Yes.
I'm asking it to do something.
Hey.
This one though
The
is
third
pretty
one?
cool.
It's a little New York, but
Right. Like more San Francisco vibes.
can we say like with iconic San Francisco buildings or something?
So we could also try this prompt that was already kind of created as well.
Right. Let's try that.
Let's see what happens.
Very exciting. Okay, it's a little Superman,
A little bit.
superhero.
I think like hovering above is probably a good hovering. Would it be floating though?
That's what I was thinking.
See, so I've learned this with that one that I did of Toronto, that because that's what it was doing. It was like a hoverboard right over the city,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, I want it like right in the
Planted.
city. That's the thing. So let me try rewriting this prompt.
Stepping on? What about like
Stepping on. Okay, let's see. An enormous, exaggerated pink stiletto heel looms over San Francisco, creating a fashionable shadow over renowned sites such as the Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, so maybe.
I feel like it's going to be too zoomed out, but let's give it a shot.
Okay, let's see. And I wonder, do we want... I kind of wonder if now, is there a way that I can quickly erase the history so that it doesn't...
I don't think I've ever wanted to do that before.
I kind of want to just start
Start
fresh. Yeah.
If you open a new tab, it's still there. Let's
Okay,
see.
hold on. Let me see here. So, new tab, text to image. Okay, hold on. Let's put it in here. Maybe because I duplicated my tab before.
Oh no. Maybe you have to refresh it.
Okay, let's try. Either way, good thing I spent lots of time already perfecting these that
Yeah.
we can
You
pull
have-
a good one. We
yeah.
have some good ones. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. So I still feel like what I was getting before is so much more aligned. Like you and I were looking
Yeah.
at this one here. This is kind of like still like right in that scope of what we wanted to kind of create. And I think it like resembles a high heel best. Like
Yes.
it's the right kind of stiletto I'm looking for.
Do you ever find that it like doesn't quite get the building super accurately, like even when you tell it to? Because we have here Jeffrey asking how comparable they are because they're pretty accurate, but sometimes you have to play with it.
Right. I think that to be honest, I think like things are always improving, and I think that your prompt plays into this a lot.
Yes.
I could be wrong. Maybe we have a mod that can help with this answer, but I definitely think like depending on like what you're trying to create, I don't know if anyone would notice it if
Yeah.
it was off. Like for me, like you could maybe see like something, like if you stare at it long enough,
Yeah.
maybe it's not 100% there, but I would say like it's like 95%
And
there.
you could also, like, if you need to, you could create the images separately.
right.
Right, you could have the stiletto on,
Right.
and then put your own generated background if you're trying to get it more
Right.
precise, and still get the same effect and like achieve it a bit faster.
Exactly. I think it's definitely like playing around and making it work for you. Like this one here, like that video that I had shown you guys. I mean, this is exactly the city of Toronto. I live there. I drive in the streets all the time. Maybe not 100%, like I was saying, like that river there. But like I also manipulated this with my prompts to make it look the way that I wanted to. And honestly, if you think about the city of Toronto to begin with, the reality is that there's nowhere for the stiletto to stand in Toronto because it's just huge buildings everywhere.
Yeah, it did have to move some things around.
It had to kind of make the city of Toronto mold to what I wanted it to be in order to generate an image that worked for my idea, right?
Yeah. And again, you're trying to just convey the idea, so accuracy is a bit forgivable.
Yes.
But it is always improving, and there's always a way to like improve it with your prompt as well.
100%. I think that you just gotta like play around with it, like have time to really like sit down and see what it is that you're trying to create and play around with your prompts. And like even this one here is really cool. Like you have like the waterfront there.
Yeah, I feel like that one looks a little bit more San Francisco, like if you squint your eyes.
Right.
Which is fine.
Right. And I think like ultimately for what I'm creating, I think it works for me. Like even this
I would
one
agree.
here.
I think it would work. And Val's also mentioning that the compositing route, if you found the image of the city you wanted, you could generate the stiletto with proper lighting and add it in. So that's what we were talking about before. But maybe you don't even have to generate the city itself.
Exactly.
I liked this one.
I feel like that honestly the ones that we just kind of downloaded here, like those were the best ones, I think. And because
it always
of that,
happens that way, right? The ones that you do off the live always work out a little bit.
Right.
You know, the live works against you sometimes, but we're here to show you the reality and show you the step-by-step of how to try and get closer.
100%. And now that we've kind of been able to settle on a photo based off of kind of some of the other prompts, and you can even see like, you know, the prompts that I had used before were a little simpler. Yeah. Maybe that's something to keep in mind. Like, leave it up to interpretation. Let Adobe Firefly kind of create something based off of that. And then, you know, if you really love what it's created and you want to create something similar, or you really love, let's say, one of the options that it gave you, like, let's say this one over here, I really loved. You can always go to edit and then generate similar, and then it's going to bring you up to the top and start generating similar to what had been created. So
that's why I really like the fact that it keeps the history, right?
Yes.
Because you're able to like
go back.
Yeah, you can trial and error and go all the way back in case you actually, you know, had something better at the start.
Right, 100%. And something else that I actually forgot to show you all is I want to go back down. I think this was one that we said we really liked here, right? And this one as well. Okay, chat, let us know. Do you like this one here? We'll call this one 1 or this one 2. Let us know.
Drop it in the chat and we'll take it from there.
1 or 2. And then there's also always there is the upscale. Hold on a second. Where is that? Oh, no, not my tab I was trying to look for. Hold on a second.
Hey, sometimes things move.
There should be upscale here, I want to say.
Upscale, let's see.
Up here, upscale all.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 2. Okay, we're getting a lot of 2s. Okay, so this one here, let me just download just in case. I have like extreme anxiety of losing things that my downloads folder is a hot mess.
Yeah. I think that's like normal.
Upscale, I think, is super important, especially if we're wanting to like bring it into something like Adobe Firefly video, because then it's just going to like increase the quality of what you're being given. So you can see it's kind of just taken it up a little bit of a notch here. So we'll go ahead and download this, and then we're going to bring it in to, I have so many tabs open right now. I'm going to close them. I know, it's a me problem, you guys. I have way too many tabs open for liking.
You know, that's how you make sure you don't, you know, lose things in the mix of everything.
And sometimes you want to have like different things going, but I'm really asking it to do a lot right now.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Maybe what I'll do is actually quit my browser. Oh, hold on. It was listening. See, I just had to scare it. I just had to say, we're gonna
quit.
Yeah. Okay, So now that we've kind of quit all of this, we're going to go to Adobe Firefly and then go to the video tab. When you're in the video tab, you're going to see we have text to video and we have image to video beta. So what I find really interesting, this is like my own analysis of what's kind of worked for me, is that if I create the image first and bring it into image to video beta, it gives me the result I'm looking for on such a more like accurate level.
Right, less trials, right?
Yeah, but also
Whatever it
because
takes.
like if you think about it, generating like text to video or any of the video in Firefly, like now with the image, text to image, you have fast mode.
Yeah.
So you can like get to your end result like super fast compared to like trying to do text to video a million times and trying to, right? Like that's why I'm like, let me just
Experiment over on text to image, and once you have like a good vision and starting point, move on over to image to video and start working in there.
Exactly.
Another thing that I feel like is important is like prompting is already difficult to do.
Right.
When you're just trying to get a still image. If you have to describe a still image and the
Plus
motion
the movement
happening within
Yes.
the image, it can get like lofty and hard for to just get the right interpretation of it. So I think going this route is kind of more of a sure bet.
100%. So now that we kind of have that image that we've all loved and decided on, we're going to open up image to video beta. So this is like when this tool came out, y'all. I kid you not, I blocked off a full day because I was like, I'm doing this. Like,
I'm making videos.
this is happening. So if you have not played around with this, like, let this be like the thing that hooks you in right now.
You need to go to firefly.adobe.com and
Yes.
hit generate video.
It's so fun. You're going to have so much fun with this. So for me, because I'm always creating content for socials, as I feel like we all know now, because I can't stop talking about it, I love to switch to vertical. Obviously, you know, right popping into this feature, it'll automatically be widescreen because I think like 9 times out of 10, probably people who are not creating content for social, they're going to be creating in this formatting anyways. Like we had seen your Philly cheesesteaks before floating through the air.
Floating horizontally. But it's kind of cool. I wonder if you could generate with the same prompt, both horizontal and vertical, so you could have it for, you know, if you're going on YouTube.
Like resize it.
Yeah, resize. But extend, you know,
I'd be interested to see. Yeah. Like, I really would want to know because, that would be maybe, hopefully you can do it. And if not, maybe the product team is listening and they can make it happen for us.
I feel like it's in the near future if it's not already here.
100%. That would be kind of like the resize feature, right?
Exactly.
Which is so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went ahead and changed to vertical. Great. We're going to go ahead and upload our picture. I just want to
I feel like this is such a like smart way to use generate video, you know?
Right?
Like I feel like we're really setting it up for success here.
We are. Like we're kind of we're making its job a little easier.
Yeah.
Like we're
just add the movement.
Giving it a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is I always like, again, the feature, I want to see the features on the side, like play around with them, figure out what works best for you and maybe like what ones you're not like maybe the most aligned with, and that's okay too. For me, what I've noticed, like a couple of things. If I don't want it to manipulate the photo too much, which I'm going to show you in a second when we get into like having fun with some brand photos and bringing those to life that I've created. And that's a whole different ball game we're going to get into. But, you know, if you want it to kind of just move over, I always choose like move left, move right, zoom out, zoom in. When you kind of go to static, sometimes it creates movement in the background. This is just what I have noticed. So if anybody knows otherwise, please correct me in the chat. But static, what I've noticed is, you know, if it's not moving, if the video is not moving, the items are moving in the background.
Right.
So
and you don't always want that.
No.
Sometimes you do, but you don't. It's not all the time.
Exactly. So, you know, when you have like something like, let's say you're trying to, I don't know, like maybe you're trying to like, this is a photo here. I'll pull up for a second. Maybe you want to like animate, or I don't know if animate's the right word, create movement with this photo and turn it into a video. Maybe choosing something like static would be great, because if you're looking for just like kind of B-rolls that can be used in Instagram Reels, like that's a really great option to use. Whereas I feel like when handheld, and if you hover, I think if you hover over it, it gives you a little bit of a preview. It'll show you like that the subject is not really moving, but
the camera is shifting around.
But it's like probably the closest motion setting to as if you were to take your camera and be filming something, and like that slight movement that would be happening. So, I mean, what I did with this one here was I think we had just literally did the zoom out.
And it added like a little bit of a hyperlapse on the clouds.
Yeah, like it definitely, it did something.
It stylized it a little bit.
Okay, so I wonder, let's see. So I kind of want to take, and again, add this prompt in. We're going to need a prompt. So sometimes what I would do is just take the exact same prompt and bring it over. I think I closed the tab.
Because then you can test and see if like the video version is responding in a similar way as the image version.
Exactly. So I'm going to say a giant pink stiletto high heel standing over the city. Over top.
I don't think you need to, I don't know.
Over top of the city of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's generate. And this is my favorite part. We have like our fuzzy friends doing their thing here.
Do they have a name?
So I don't know.
Because I feel like the
They
name
need
should be
to.
Fireflies. Like they are the little fireflies.
They are the little fireflies. That is so cute.
And that's
I feel
the
like
mascot.
100%. And I feel like they need theme songs. We were talking about
Yes.
this before. Like, I don't know, like,
Because they each have their own little animation and personality.
Yeah.
Like this guy's a little bit more serious, dramatic.
You know
with
what I
the
always
wind.
wanted to know, on a side note? I'm having a squirrel moment. Do you think they created these in Firefly?
Yes.
Like,
I
they
do.
had to have, right?
Yes, I do.
But, like, can you imagine, if that is the case, maybe we're wrong here. Can you imagine being the person who used Adobe Firefly for the first time to create these fireflies and what their prompts would have looked like?
I'm sure they were
I
robust.
want to see. Yeah.
Maybe
And it was
that's
so different.
that's the next stream.
Yeah.
Creating the whole Fireflies collection.
Right. I also, chat, let us know if you want to see a stream on like trying to recreate these Adobe Fireflies.
Or turn yourself into one if you could do that.
Gosh. What would yours look like?
Oh my gosh. I want it to be fuzzy. I want it to be fuzzy and spotted, I think.
Oh
like
my gosh.
spotted.
Like a Dalmatian almost?
Yeah, but like maybe colorful, almost like calico, you know? Like
Oh, I love that.
yes, with big eyes. Ooh, what about yours?
Mine would be pink, fuzzy, with like, have you ever seen hair shimmers?
Yes.
Like those sparkling little strands.
Oh my
That
gosh,
would be
that
like
would
all
be
of my hair.
perfect.
And she'd probably be wearing high heels.
Yes.
Like just her, no hands, no legs, just heels.
No, you just see the like
Little
points.
feet.
You just see the points of the heels, you know? Like you don't see the rest of the foot.
100%. That would definitely be it. Okay.
Next
Fingers
stream.
crossed. Let's see what this created based off of the photo we gave it.
It's looking promising. Hey. Yes.
Yes!
That was
First-
awesome.
This is like a first try. Like, I was going to say
Literally?
first try wonder. I don't know if that's the right way.
One
to
hit
say it.
wonder.
One hit wonder.
No, but it's gonna happen over and over again. So
Yes.
it won't be a one-hit wonder. But
I love this.
Yes.
This is like, I don't think I would change anything.
no, it looks pretty cool, and I do think it changed the buildings a little bit.
It kind of gave them like this almost like kind of like superistic. Do you
Hyper
know?
realistic.
Yeah, like maybe that's the right word. I'm making up my own vocabulary today. Super hyper realistic, like futuristic.
Yes,
kind of. That's
futuristic.
the word.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
slick. But also, I
see.
do think it changed the like in here. Look, it changes to more San Francisco buildings. Do you notice?
Yes.
So it'd be amazing, like if you were traveling from New York to San Francisco, this would be like the perfect post.
Okay, but hold on. I'm going to download this. But what if we put the start frame as Toronto? And then the end frame is San Francisco. Okay, we're going to try this.
Go.
Okay. Hold on. Before I lose
saw
this.
our minds explode.
Literally,
Save.
I downloaded. We're good. We downloaded. Okay. So, how are we going to do this?
So you already have the San Francisco one. I mean, you already have the Toronto one.
Yes.
Do you want to use the original Toronto?
Yeah. Like, just for the essence of time, I feel like we should just kind of use the screenshot I took. So let's pull that in.
And then maybe you have
End
to
frame?
describe. Oh yeah, the end frame tool.
End frame. So we'll bring the end frame in as San Francisco. A giant pink stiletto high heel standing over the city of Toronto. Toronto.
Maybe like
That morphs into the city of San Francisco? Is that
Yeah.
too much? That morphs into the city.
I feel like morphs is gonna be a hard one, but let's see.
City. What would you use instead of morphs?
I don't know, because that's the thing. I think you'd only have to be more
That
specific.
transforms?
Yeah.
That shifts?
Shifts? Yeah, shifts. I feel like because you want it to be subtle.
Okay. This is going to go one way or the other, y'all.
Thankfully, that first video that you just created was amazing and really useful.
Like a one-hit wonder,
Yeah.
literally. Let's like pray to the fireflies.
Yes,
is what we're gonna
that's
call
why
them.
they were happy because we
were-
were hyping them up, and they said, "Here you go."
Yes. That maybe that's the trick.
Maybe that's the trick.
Maybe
you gotta
that is the trick.
you gotta like really, really, give them their cred. They're busy back there.
It's so true. And I'm looking at Val saying she would be purple. Val, you totally would
You
be
would be purple.
a purple
100%.
firefly.
Yeah.
100%.
Jeffrey's
Jeffrey's
so cute.
Jeffrey's like, I'm gonna go quit my job and go home to play. Same.
Yes.
Welcome to our life, you guys.
You have to try it out. I'm like, wow, there's so many like cool posts you could make.
Yes.
To just have like these assets for your brand that you don't
Right.
actually have to go out and produce, because this would be kind of tricky, or even the
Right.
VFX that it would require would be tricky.
I don't even know. And the thing is like, I think that, Adobe Firefly is so incredible and it's always improving every single day. But for somebody like me who literally just wants like cool social content, this has like been such a game changer for me. And like, you can see it's been like so much fun even just sitting here creating, and it hasn't actually taken us that long.
No. And you can imagine that you could have probably prompted
Right.
the same thing like night and day and have
Right.
it like animate night and day, and that would be cool,
Right.
right? Like there's so many fun ways to add. Okay, what's gonna
Okay.
happen?
Okay, it's gonna go one way or the other. I feel like I need to pray over this right now.
Come on, fireflies. What?
What was that?
I don't know if I loved it, but
Or-
I didn't hate it. It's interesting.
It almost puzzle pieced it together. Hold on, let's watch this up
Replay.
close. It like deconstructed everything.
but it put it back to New York. You know?
Okay, hold
Like the
on.
other one, I feel like really went from
was
New York to San Francisco.
right. Okay. So standing over the top of the city of Toronto, that transforms into the city of San Francisco. Let's try one
Or maybe
more
like
time.
that the skyline transforms.
That.
Right? You only want,
The moving
Right?
skyline.
yeah.
We're going to try one more time and
Let's
see.
see.
This is just for fun at this point. We
Yeah.
already have what we really came to do.
We
We're
have,
just curious.
We have one post, and now we're seeing
If we
what
can make two?
else we can do with it. Yeah.
Also, like, how have we gotten the same firefly every single time?
And usually you always get different ones.
Yeah.
This guy likes you.
Yeah. I kind of like it too.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'm here for it.
He's happy with you. Oh,
I love
I didn't
this.
know. I like forgot the little antennas.
I
They're
know.
so cute. Do you think yours would have antennas? Or just
feel like-
curls?
Curls would be so cute, though. I feel like it would have cat ears. Like, literally, like, just little cat ears.
Oh,
like,
wow.
With curls.
They look like little pom-poms. They're so cute.
So cute.
Try replacing the text shift with morph.
That's what we were thinking too. Originally we said morph and then we took it out.
Because it was just like, I was a little bit hesitant
worried
that it would like do too much, you know, instead of be like subtle. Which we wanted to kind of be like almost, you don't even notice and suddenly
Like
it shifted.
kind of, you see, okay, for anybody who's just tuning in, let me show you the video that we did create. Because what you can kind of see is like the skyline is moving and then it kind of like shifts a little bit. We kind of want it to shift from Toronto to San Francisco, like almost like traveling through time.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have put that. I don't know if it would get it.
What if you did like hyperlapsing from Toronto to San Francisco? Okay, let's see.
Okay, this is so cool. Stop.
You just gotta cut it. You just have to stop it before it goes back.
Because look, then it brings in San Francisco at the end. How cool. But like every element changed. Like look, and it rotated the shoe, changed the water out, brought in like.
Yes.
What? That is so cool.
That is very, very neat.
Okay, I am going to save this because I want to use it later.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And I bet you could even, like, I feel like it'd be nice to have that, like, Salesforce tower in there because that's such an iconic part of the skyline. I wonder if you could write it in, but I don't know if that would completely mess everything up.
I know, and that's the thing. I think, like, definitely if you're kind of playing around enough, you will eventually get to what you want.
Yeah.
I think, like, with the essence of time, I want to show you guys how to bring this into Adobe Express. And I also want to show you how you can take a non-generated photo, like maybe something from your brand shoot, and turn it into, let me go Firefly.
Which I think is so practical. I'm so excited to see this because it's so common to have just, like, your brand photos. And eventually you're like, I need another version of this.
Right. Or sometimes, like, if you're like me and you create a lot of social content, you might want to like have, let's say, some sort of like a promotional video or something, and you wished that you had this one shot that you had taken in video format. Like how many times, like Nicole, who's part of my team, could tell you, so many times, you guys, where like I'm like, oh, if we just had that in video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that would have been so cool for this one thing. So same thing, we're gonna go image to video. Hold on, I actually should just start a brand new tab.
Start a brand new tab. It never hurts.
We're gonna go right from the beginning.
It never hurts. Let's see.
Okay.
Video.
Image to video, and then we're going to bring in, I have a little folder here.
Perfect.
This photo from, I should have showed you guys the photo. Hold on, let me get there. Okay, this photo here. I just loved this shot from one of our brand shoots.
It's cute.
And it's so cute, but I'm like, maybe if we could like have panned over it or like done something, like that would be really cool.
Some movement, yeah.
Right? Like just add a little bit of something to it. So all we're going to do is tell it exactly what we want it to do. So I'm going to say panning over.
Panning from left to right?
Yes.
Over the items? I don't know if it's good to tell it what it is or not.
I think when I had generated, I said props laying on the ground.
Okay.
Fashion accessories on the ground, maybe. Accessories laying on the ground.
What about like panning smoothly? And just like, we want it to feel like...
I wanted it so smooth, I was like, smooth.
Yeah, we want it to feel buttery.
Yes, like buttery smooth. That's a good one. Okay, so I always forget to do this. We need to change it to vertical.
Yeah.
I wish that you could auto-save the setting to just be where you wanted it to be. That would be
Or
really
it was
cool.
like an alert before you hit generate.
Yes. Okay, so from left to right, so we want it to move right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do you?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
think
guess.
so. Yeah.
I think if we put move right, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll
move across. No, I think you
like
have to
see
say,
this little feature on the side. Like, do we choose move right or should we choose handheld maybe? So that's, remember I was telling you before, I feel like if you choose handheld, it doesn't really change anything that's going on in the image. So I'm gonna
try that. Yeah.
I'm gonna try that and see. Let's see
I
what
feel
it
like
does.
that's smart.
I love this one.
New guy.
Every time I see this, I always think of like oompa loompa doopity doo.
Yeah, I can
Right?
see it. It's perfect.
I can't. And it's purple, so it's like literally Willy Wonka.
it's supposed
Stop.
to,
An
like-
oompa loompa.
I bet that was in the prompt.
Literally. I love it so much.
So cute. I can imagine them too, like if they came in little boxes. That like
collectibles?
Yeah, like blind boxes.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Okay.
We would go frantic for those.
We really would. I want to show you, while that's kind of loading, I might as well show you how we can bring this into Adobe Express and create something really cool with the video that we had generated. So I'm just I'm in my project and I'm really just going to go ahead and resize a page to Instagram Reel because I didn't want to like start a whole thing over and in the essence of time. So here we are, and all I'm really going to do is bring that video that we had created with the San Francisco skyline.
So proud of this.
I know. Really,
job.
like, she really, like, did the Lord's work here with this one. And we're going to add a scene. What I did with this video over here, which I had showed you guys, is at the end, it kind of just goes to my logo. So all we're going to do is change the background color to my branding. You can see brand kits are a big thing for me. All of
I
our clients.
love brand kits.
I love brand kits. It's such a game changer. So we're going to look for socials and stilettos. It's up here at the top, as she should be. And I'm going to go ahead and just add my logo in, and maybe we'll do like a fun little transition in between.
Yeah, I think that would be so cute. And I know it's going to be like nice and easy here with Adobe Express.
Yes.
It's so like good for these like lightweight, just like finishing touches.
I love it. I mean, honestly, like sometimes you want to have something that's like a little branded to you.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is one of my favorite ways to do it. And we can add transition. We could do like a slide, a wipe. We could even like dip. I think doing like a dip to white could be
That
cool.
could be cool.
Or even a dissolve. Dissolve is probably a
Dissolve
good
looks
one.
nice because everything's like morphing.
Exactly. And we could even animate this logo as well. So we could do, fade. We could also bring in, I want to say like a drip, like maybe like a drop.
Yeah, I like the drop.
And
Because it's like looming over the city.
right, and I think that that's really cool. But this is like I think a newer feature as well, is you can choose to start outside of the page. So instead of it just kind of like
down,
animated in the page, like you can do it this way, which is really cool. And yeah, that's like one really easy way. And then of course we can add like music and all of that fun stuff. But one way that you can make something for Instagram Reels and then like really like elevate it to your brand as well.
I love that. I feel like you created a brand new image for your brand and then branded it, and now it's ready to go. And we still
Right?
have this. What ended up happening with
I know. Let's
what
see.
did the little Oompa Loompa generate?
Okay, let's see. This is so good. And I would literally just shorten this, to be honest. Like we could
right
even
there.
like just have like kind
And you
of
could even reverse it.
Right?
Like, so that it's moving into the
exactly.
scene.
And I think just playing around with it, like have fun with Adobe Firefly. Like that is my biggest piece of advice to you. Have fun with it. I mean, like for those audios that are like 2 seconds that loop, this would have been perfect. Perfect, right? So I think like just have fun. Make it whatever you want to make it.
Play with your prompts.
Yeah, play with your prompts. Have fun with fireflies, with all the little guys.
Yeah, collect them all while you prompt it. But you showed us so much today. What's a quick recap for everything that we did in the stream?
Yes. So what we did is we kind of started with, I closed my screen now, but we started with creating a giant stiletto hovering or towering over the city of San Francisco. We played around with a lot of different prompts, came up with a lot of different things, and then we took it and turned it into a video, which you will see here, using the brand new Adobe Firefly image to video feature, animated in Adobe Express. And then we even had some more fun and just played around with the possibility of, what was it over here? Morphing from Toronto
So neat.
to San Francisco, all using Adobe Firefly with a little help from Adobe Express at the end.
So cool. I hope you learned so much today, everyone, and I can't wait to see those videos. Make sure to tag Brittany in your videos and stay tuned because up next is Alyssa and Anne. Bye,
Bye, guys!